Yeah, and that's why the girl with special needs kicked me in the groin this morning. Afternoon, really.
Oh
man,
And
that's rough.
luckily it didn't hurt, but it was tough.
Oh, it didn't hurt. Wow,
It did. Well, she doesn't really have that well of working ankles, so
it sounds like me. Sounds like me. All right, guys. Hopefully, you guys in chat are all doing fantastic. Let me know how the audio levels are. I try to balance as best I can, but obviously, once we go live, everything seems to change as usual. So,
as always, yeah.
Yeah, let us know how things are going. If we can adjust. This is of course the pre-show like we normally do. We can banter about things.
Yeah, big shout out to Melodet for the 20 months of Twitch Prime subscriptions. Thank you very much, dude. We appreciate those.
Very nice. Thank you very much.
And GOM as well, saying cuties. Yeah, I think you're referring to our two guests today, so thank you very much for that.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. We have a surprisingly high amount of beard on stream today.
Yeah, right.
Which is pretty cool.
Hello.
Jay and I are lacking a little bit in terms of what Chewy and Quakem's are bringing out.
Do you want to know what's kind of funny? I specifically put Chewy under me and you under Jay because of the beards.
Right. Okay.
So
are these our better looking alternative selves? Is that what you're trying to say, Brian?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Exactly. Chewy is the upgraded me, and Osiris is the upgraded you.
Well, is it? Someone said I'm the Super Saiyan version. I'm the Super Saiyan 3 version of Quake.
That is an amazing way to describe the way you look. Yeah,
and look, you can't. If you can find my eyebrows, let me know. I've been looking for them. And for those Dragon Ball Z fans that
definitely SSJ
that understand that reference.
Yeah. See, I didn't go to Super Saiyan yet, but I'm the is it the Ozaru? Is that what they call it? Like the monkey, the big monkey form.
The monkey version.
Yeah, I'm just like the big dumb like rampaging monkey.
You should. So you should mix each other's handles to confuse newcomers.
Let me just swap around the tags real quick.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds fine so far. Okay, perfect.
Good.
The screen is about 10%, at least 10% beard. That's good. That's.
Yeah,
I was
probably about right.
I was shooting for a 15 plus, but hey, I'll settle for 10. That's no problem.
Do you know? I literally just shaved before the stream as well. I trimmed my beard about 2 hours ago, so I shouldn't have done that. If I'd have known you were going for maximum beardage on stream.
I trimmed mine up recently.
Yeah, it's been a little while since people have seen me. I've grown mine out a little bit more. I've been trying to tame it, but it's been rough. It's been rough. Is this a crossover episode? Asks 10 Strong. Yeah, sure. I guess you could kind of say that. We'll explain more once we actually officially go live. Once again, this is just the pre-show, so we'll give you guys the details very, very soon.
For sure.
I like how the entire time we've been in the call, my dog is just like in his bed, just chilling, and then as soon as we go live, he's just like, "I'm gonna wander around now."
That's okay. See, one of the biggest issues with Top Clack is there's not enough on-screen dog.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Well, you clearly don't watch my build streams because my dog's always on build.
I very rarely watch your build streams, Jay. I skim through some of them if I'm interested in the board, but.
I'd get the dog now, but she's laid on the bed with the wife, so I can't wake her up at.
I don't even have a dog here. I feel so left out. I have a cat.
Petition to get Brian a dog. Yeah, petition to get Brian a dog for Christmas.
Oh man.
All right, bud.
Dog overload.
Go to bed.
Wow.
Good boy.
Yeah. See, my apartment's not very big.
I can double fist if I need to.
I don't want to subject the dog to the size of my apartment and the lack of yard that I have.
Yeah, dude. I wish I had a yard, but unfortunately, I don't. Just means lots of walks.
My roommate has a cat, but I don't want to track her down. Oh man, busy stream today, says Lou Pelios. Yeah, a little bit. 4 people on stream can be a little chaotic, but I like to think we're all professionals here.
It's usually a good stream though when we have guests on. Usually a good stream.
Yeah. We landed some good ones today. They have just enough dogs for us.
Oh, more dogs, more doggos. There we go.
You have 2 dogs?
There we go.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Double fisting.
I'm not sure that's.
I'm gonna have to ask you to not say that again, please.
Yeah, can we mute for a few minutes?
Oh,
PG
boy.
stream.
Nathan Alphaman, thank you very much for the tier 1 sub gift. That's gone to Depleted Vespine, so thank you very much for that, man.
Yeah, and it also opened up 5 emotes from that too. Very
Nice.
Very, very
We do
nice.
need to work on our emo game. For
I know. When I first looked at it, when I very first looked at it, affiliates weren't allowed to have like custom stuff, but they've changed it since then to where we can have like some custom stuff. And I haven't really gotten around to doing it, honestly. I have no real excuse. I just keep forgetting.
I wish you could see. You can sort of see right here. But my dog is on my table.
Just chilling. Squid's getting it.
Nice.
He loves it.
Nice. Jay's got the Snapchat filter going on. Oh, you are using the snow. I thought we agreed not to.
Oh, do you want me to turn it off?
What are you using it through? Is it through the Logitech software?
No, it's through OBS, so I just have a small script that runs to put effects on.
My gosh.
Yeah.
All right, we're done. I'm not gonna fiddle with that while we're live.
I'll set it up so we can have it on if there's build streams or anything over the next.
Yeah, it sounds like a recipe for disaster if I try to work with it right now.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. It's just running a HTML script through a browser, and you put it over top as an overlay. It's pretty easy.
Tectonic Plate and Pub Goku. Thank you so much for the subscriptions, guys.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Pub Goku's here in the UK as well, so like to be up at 2 a.m. to watch Top Clack is pretty damn.
You can tell Jay's not a Dragon Ball Z watcher because he says Gaku instead of Goku.
What's Dragon Ball Z?
Exactly.
All right, guys. Well, it's been fun. It's been real, but
it's one of the worst and most overrated anime of all time, but it's also one of the most popular anime of all time.
Fair enough. I know of it. I've never seen it. I've never.
Yeah, I feel like most people have probably heard the name at least.
Yeah, I always assumed that it was a little bit like Pokemon. That's that kind of thing.
Kind of, yeah. In a lot of ways, it is, I suppose. Everyone in chat's gonna freak out.
Yeah, right.
So I didn't mean
Everyone's
that,
like,
guys. Yeah, everyone's gone.
welcome to Top Clack, where we talk about Dragon Ball Z for 2 hours.
Only an hour and a half. Come on, let's be real.
It's like when we had Dixie on a couple weeks ago before we started. We were like, should we just do an entire stream and just only talk about college football?
Oh my god.
Wow. Yeah. We should do a teaching J anime.
That'd be a fun like non-keyboard stream to do.
Yeah, we should
I
definitely.
feel like I don't know. I feel like we could probably start getting away with non-keyboard streams soon. When I've messed with gaming and stuff in the past, a lot of people flipped out. Last time I tried to play a game on stream, I had like at least 10 or 15 PMs that were like, "Why are you doing this to me? I don't want to get notified when you do non-keyboard stuff." And I'm like, "All right, sorry guys, let me just stop this real quick." So I just shut the stream down, and I was like, "All right, won't do that again."
I've been tempted to do some kind of Lego builds and stuff like that because everyone mentions when I get new sets in that I should build them on stream. So maybe I'll do something like that next.
I mean, I know I get that people are here for keyboard stuff. That's how people found us. That's what people expect from us, and that's totally fine and acceptable. We get that. That's gonna always probably be the primary thing that we do, but it's kind of nice to have a little variety sometimes as well.
Sure.
True.
Sure. And I know a lot of people have asked for car streams as well. When I start working on the car in January, people have asked for a lot of streams, but I'll probably do them on a separate channel because that is too far removed from keyboards.
Weeb time with Brian. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be complicated to pick things to actually do because I feel like people are going to be pretty upset if we get too like anime.
Stassen says unsubscribe.
Yeah, I bet a lot of people would unsubscribe. Honestly.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, people are highlighting messages now. What's that?
Oh,
I've not seen that.
what's
that?
It's the new like
The new point system.
points.
Oh,
This is how you get seen.
this is what I get for not being on Twitch for 2 weeks. I don't know what's going on.
Are these the points I've been getting when I've been watching people's streams and I get like a
Yes.
little gift? Oh, right. Okay.
So you can like highlight your message for like 100 points or something like that.
My favorite is
Right.
you can modify emotes, so you can like put two emotes together and make like a little emote baby.
Oh my god.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. It's pretty nice.
This seems pretty dangerous. I think I'm just gonna roll the intro real quick. I'm gonna try to not acknowledge the existence of what's happening right now. All right, guys, we're gonna start the show in just a moment here. Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this week's episode of Top Clack. I am your host, Quakums, as usual, joined by my lovely British co-host, Jay. And if you haven't noticed yet, which you probably have, below us you can see some very fantastic guests. We have both Chewy and Osiris. You may or may not know them from Mechs on Deck, which is another content creation studio that is probably...
Which you should check out.
Yeah, it's discernibly better than Top Clack in every single conceivable way. So you should definitely make sure to go subscribe to both their Twitch and their YouTube and other various outlets. But anyways, guys, welcome to the show today. How are you guys doing? That bad, huh?
Yeah.
All right, I guess I'll see you guys later.
I'm holding up. There we go. Here we go. All right, where's the right where I can hold up, Brian?
We can't see that.
Oh, you can. Well,
are you holding
on
something?
The stream cam. I'm trying to keep you up.
You're holding me. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, above. Yeah, you're above.
I was like, wait, what is he doing?
No, man, I'm good. I'm a little tired, but you know, it's that It's that time of year where everyone and everything is just dialed to 11, especially
totally.
Poor driving.
Yeah. What about you, Osiris? How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm excited for the holidays coming up. Get some extra time off work, a little bit of a break. I work very close to like an outlet mall, so my drive home is infinitely more terrible every day as it approaches closer to Christmas. But other than that, it's pretty dang good.
All right. What about you, Jay? How you doing today? I see you're getting snowed on right now.
I am, yeah. It's a mixture of warm and cold. Warm from the fire behind me and cold from the snow in front of me. I wasn't sure if that kind of was a bit of a juxtaposition or not, but it'll do. But yeah, no, doing all well, all well and good. Looking forward to Christmas and final day at work tomorrow. My last day at work for this year tomorrow. So then I'm off work until the 6th of January. So I've got 2 full weeks of time to do whatever I want, which I'm really looking forward to.
Very nice, very nice. Lumens is asking, why is Jay the only person who's getting snowed on? Because I'm the only person who put effort into my stream modeling.
Because we live in Texas.
Yeah, we live in Texas, and it doesn't snow in times of year that it makes sense. It snows
not
on like Thanksgiving
and March.
It is not currently snowing where I am, so I want to give the audience the true immersive experience from where I am, and there is no snow where I am. So unlike Jay, I don't like to lie to the viewers.
Well, I'm not lying. It was when I got up this morning to go to work, there was snow in my car, so there you go. So we've had snow this week, yes.
Yeah. Royal saying sweater game kind of weak, fellas. I mean, all 3 of them.
Trees and H and
I've got X-wings and TIE fighters and Death Stars.
I think you guys all look fabulous, and you're definitely upholding the ugly sweater tradition. I own 0 ugly sweaters. I don't even own a sweater to begin with, because I don't usually like wearing sweaters and stuff like that, because I get way too warm. I'm just like an always t-shirt kind of guy. So sadly, I have to settle for an old Seattle Meetup t-shirt, but it's sort of festive. In a way.
Please defend that more, Brian. Please tell us.
I would rather not, to be totally honest with you. I would rather move on to our mail call, as is tradition. And we have some stuff today, because we're all going to kind of share a little bit. So I'll start us off. Not too long here. I just got Mizu in the other day. I honestly forgot that I ordered it, and then I got tracking for it, and I was like, oh, cool. I have something coming in finally. So I got that. That was pretty cool, as well as the desk mat, which came with it. Desk mat looks fantastic, so pretty happy about that. I haven't actually opened the case yet for the key set, but the alphas are a lot richer than I was expecting. I was expecting something a little bit lighter, and I feel like they're a little deeper than what I recall from the renders, but it looks quite nice either way. What about you, Jay?
I got a few things. So those guys that watched my build stream will have already seen this. I'm not going to open it fully because of that. But I got in my Honeyboard 60, HB 60, which is in this lovely gold colour. So I showed that off on stream the other day. That's absolutely fantastic. So I'm building that soon. I also got in a new Kipura. This is the Tycho Kipura. If my camera decides to focus on it.
There's too much snow, Jay. We can't see. I don't know.
Oh yeah, the snowdrift. Yeah, So the Tycho Kipura, that's a limited edition one. I also got Mizu, but I've not even taken the cellophane off yet. So yeah, I haven't looked at it yet. And then the final thing I got was my polycarbonate canoe, but I haven't opened this yet, and I'll be opening it live on stream on Sunday. So yeah, I haven't looked at the board, haven't taken the box apart or anything like that yet. So you'll get to see my first impressions when I unbox that on the Sunday stream.
Nice. What about you, Chewy? You get anything in this week?
Sort of. It was more last week, but
Close enough.
got my Baka.
Heck yeah.
This is a keyboard I co-designed.
That weight is beautiful.
Big thick weight. Yeah.
Big thick weight. Weight's like 2.5 pounds.
Nice.
The weight alone.
So
Wow.
yeah, it's ridiculous. GMK Lime came in a few weeks ago. I'm huge. I do like it. I think it matches the board well.
I think
it's
it's a really underrated set.
It is.
It was a very expensive set, which I think was the big problem, but I think the set actually looks really nice.
But you also get a lot.
That's true.
You have a
It's
lot of
base
novelties and all that.
Yeah.
So, and then I've got, let's see, 17 more in a closet right behind me. So, getting those shipped out soon. I've delivered 2.
Nice.
Hand delivered.
More than 10% already. That's a good start.
Yeah, it's good going. That's
Fantastic
good going. Yeah. That's more percentage wise than IDBs I've got out. There's about 100 or so of them just behind me here, but I've not got 2% of those delivered yet. So you're ahead of me in those stakes.
Oh man.
What about you, Osiris? You get anything?
I got a whole lot of nothing. I got in some gifts for my family for Christmas, but other than that, no keyboard related stuff. Did get tracking today for my GMK Waves from Cannon Keys, so I'm very excited for that.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It's a good set. Yeah.
It
So
is a
excited
nice
for that,
looking
and
set.
then I'll be taking a look at my Baka this weekend when I help Chewy kind of put everything together. But then it'll be taking a trip to Tyson for some Cerakoting, so I'm excited for
Ooh,
that.
nice.
How
Yeah.
did the quality turn out the way that you were hoping for on the box?
Yeah, it came out like beautiful. Like
Yeah.
I wish I could. Mine, the only one that had a defect was now the boards aren't serialized, just the weights. Mine has a few defects, but they're all internal.
Yeah.
So it's not, you can't see anything. The anodization's like beautiful.
Nice.
And the weight came out really, really nicely. So I had a few issues, but nothing major. Like I bought the wrong screws, which okay. So now I have 200 of the wrong screws.
Screws are thankfully screws are incredibly inexpensive.
Inexpensive. The only other complaint I had was I was like, okay, I need bump-ons. And I go to look at bump-ons, and it's like, well, you can buy 300 of them. I'm like, okay, I don't need 300. It's like, nope, but that's how many you're gonna get.
But it's $2.
Yeah.
I remember it's total side note here, but I remember I was looking for some screws for a keyboard years ago, and I have like a local specialty screw shop that has like a bunch of stuff, which is really awesome. And I went there expecting to spend like at least like a few bucks, and I spent like 12 cents on
Nice.
on like 10 screws. It's like, what the heck is going on here?
Nebulant, real quick. So the way I did it was that you could either get a raw anodized with gray, which is what I get because gray is my favorite color keyboard, and then you could anodized gray, and then you can get it raw and choose to Cerakote it whatever color you want at that extra expensive Cerakoting. So
Nice.
I'm excited to see what all people like. It's kind of fun that I get to see like what people come up with in color combinations wise, as opposed to just like here's your 2 colors or whatever. So
Right on. All right, let's move over to a couple announcements before we roll into our rather short news doc for today. We do have a couple things to talk about afterwards, though, and of course we will do a Q&A at the end of the show like we always do. So if you guys have questions for either myself, Jay, Chewy, or Osiris, then we will get to those later on in the stream. Awesome. All right, Jay.
Cool. So first announcement, guys, you'll see the ping in chat every few minutes, but the J01 charity sale is still going on, so you can still buy a raffle ticket to support the Sue Ryder charity, which is a hospice here in the UK that looks after people in the last hours and days of their lives. That's open until the 23rd, so just a few days left now. At the minute, we've sold 1,705 tickets. That's how many were sold just before the show when Mike gave me a number. So we've done absolutely amazingly well, raising a huge amount of money, and I can't wait to be able to turn that over to the charity in the new year. The draw will be taking place on the 26th. So it closes on the 23rd, and then Brian and I are going to draw the winner on the 26th. We're going to have a list of order numbers. We'll pick an order number out of that, and then Mike will let us know who that particular winner is, and we'll get the board shipped out to you in the new year. So I'm really excited about that. Please do show us support. I'm hoping to hit 2,000 tickets, just 300 left to go. Usually with this kind of thing, it's at the beginning and at the end where we see big peaks. So I'm really, really hoping we can do another 300 or so in the last few days. And thank you again for everyone who has supported the cause so far. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you very much, guys. You've been fantastic so far.
Awesome. Glad to see that's doing well, and hopefully that continues until the final day there. And yeah, that's good stuff. So next up, I'm just going to give kind of a brief history on what's been going on with me. A lot of you probably remembered last week I wasn't here. Quir actually stepped in as a guest host to substitute for me because I had to go to the doctor. I've been having a lot of issues with the joints in my feet, as well as some back pain as well. I've been on, the last few weeks have been really, really, really rough for me, and I've been on a lot of painkillers, muscle relaxers, etc. It's not been a very pretty sight. It's been really, really miserable, and because of that, I had to miss last week's episode, and I've been kind of scarce in Discord, etc. But the good news is I am slowly recovering, and things are looking up and going better than they have been for a while. So I should be kind of slowly getting back into the swing of things. Hopefully I won't have to miss any more episodes. But again, big shout out to Quir, because that's the second time being a guest host, and he did phenomenal both times. Really, really happy with that. And of course, special thanks to Jay also. He's been really, really going hard.
What?
Yeah, I know. I'll be nice to you for a minute. I know. Jay, real talk, guys. I gotta be honest. Jay has been super amazing. He's been an absolute trooper on picking up all these top fact duties while I've been kind of feeling under the weather. So, Jay, you are a god among men, and I honestly can't thank you enough. So, real talk for once.
Well, I'm just glad you're feeling better and glad to have you back on stream. So, yeah, it's really, really good to see you back.
Yeah, so I'm very, very happy to be back, and I'm happy to do this this Christmas special. And of course, as you can see, we got the Mechs on Deck crew with us, so it's a joyous occasion. Very happy for today. So let's talk about some keyboards, guys. Let's talk about a couple keyboards and then a couple other keyboard-related topics. How about that?
Sounds good to me. What's up first, Brian?
All right, I'm gonna hopefully, if I set this up right, I'm gonna painlessly switch over to this hilarious looking scene where all four of our cameras
fingers crossed it's broken.
It
works.
It looks pretty good, but our cameras are very, very tiny because we have very minimal screen real estate on this particular screen. But hey, we got to work with what we got. First of all, shout out real quick to Mountain Blocks, though, who did subscribe and then donated 111 bits. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate that.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you, dude. We appreciate that.
Heck,
and he's just given 10 gift subs as well. Oh, no, he's given 1 gift subs. Given 10 gift subs in total, sorry, is what I'm trying to say. And that's gone to Heine Bush. So, well done, Heine. There you go.
We got the legendary Heine Bush in chat. That's quite an honor.
Yeah, I just saw a picture of Heine for the first time the other day. He's very cute.
He's a good looking. He's very Chad. I feel like he's very Chad.
Very Chad.
I don't mean that. Like he is a very good looking dude, but he's got that Chad appearance, like backwards.
My favorite aspect of Heine Bush is all the leg pics I get. Get lots of leg pictures on his Instagram, and I have to hide it at work because I can't. I don't want to get in trouble. Not safe for work.
Look at all these legs.
Just tell people they're hot dogs. It's the meme. Hot dogs, or are they legs?
His legs are too attractive for Instagram.
Jeff Leopard says Heidi is Mr. Quarterback. Totally, I agree. He's like the captain of the football team kind of guy. I don't know.
Secretly hiding his
I hate to stereotype, but that's when I look at Heine, that's what it looks like. He's a good-looking guy, but that's the vibe I also get. Anyways, let's talk about some keyboards for the first time in Top Clack history. Starting out with an interesting interest check for the C21 Retro R1 custom numpad. All right, that's kind of a mouthful here. But just let me run off a few quick specs, and we'll talk about what's going on here. So this is a tray mount number pad, or macro pad, I guess, depending on how you want to look at it. It's going to have a 7.5 degree angle, QMK compatible PCBs. It's going to come in a few different colors: black, red, silver, or gold if you want the Founders Edition. And the group buy starts in 2 days. There's going to be a 50 unit cap. 40 of those are going to be the standard, 10 of them are going to be the Founders Edition. And what's kind of interesting about this is, first of all, I'm going to be honest, it doesn't look that exciting. And it looks even less exciting when I get down to the price, which starts at $129 for the Standard Edition and $199 for the Founders Edition. And from what I can tell, other than the gold coloring, there's no difference between the Standard and the Founders Edition.
Yep, I was looking at this earlier on. I was wondering if the gold color meant it was brass or something like that, but I can't see anything that tends to suggest that it's anything other than just anodized gold, which is...
Yeah, I must have read through this 3 times before the show, and I cannot figure out why the Founders Edition is $70 more expensive just for being anodized gold.
I was looking at it, and I think it's because you're able to do the plate in a different color, maybe? I don't know.
Or maybe it's a brass plate versus an aluminum plate, which shouldn't add that much cost, but...
Yeah, well, it says included in the set is an MX reinforcement plate aluminum. There's no mention of any other kind of materials here. But I mean, let's be real here. Even at the base price, Standard Edition of $129, why would anyone buy this over the KBDfans number pad options, which start at like $79? And they are high profile. They are, all aluminum. They come with lots of options, and they're just way cheaper. Why would anyone get this over that?
I don't know, because if I remember rightly, the GR A06 keyboard, the TKL that came with a numpad as an option, I think the numpad option for that was only $129, and that's significantly... well, it's got more engineering work gone into it. Let's put it that way. It's there's a lot more engineering work gone into the GR numpad than this particularly. So I'm not quite sure where the price comes from.
Yeah. I mean, this is about as simple as a numpad gets. It's tray mount. There's no real design work. I mean, the corners are pretty standard. There's a very, very simply designed brass, I'm assuming brass weight on the bottom there. Very tiny. But I don't know. The price just doesn't seem justifiable for me. I don't understand why it's this expensive, guys.
Yeah, I think the really nice numpad that Zekin did as well, I've forgotten the name of it. It was a French name, I can't remember now, but that was significantly more... significantly more engineering work had gone into that, significantly more design effort.
And it wasn't any more expensive, really.
No, it was the same price, give or take a few dollars, as the base price here. And I'm still not quite sure how we justify the $199 price for the Founders Edition, because I can't see anywhere that it tends to suggest it's anything other than just a different color aluminium case. So
yeah, I don't understand. I'm struggling. What do you guys think, Chewy?
Sorry, what? I mean, I'm listening. All I heard was something chewy. I'm listening, but
how do you feel about this? Does this make sense to you?
I guess hot take. If I'm never gonna buy a numpad that doesn't match a keyboard.
That's fair.
Like I don't think now I don't speak for the majority, but if I'm buying a separate numpad, I'm probably buying one that kind of goes with a set. That, like you said, like the one thing I could see myself getting something like this is maybe for like if I'm streaming and I want to have some quick shortcuts or scene changes mapped to this, but then there's just better options, I think. Like nothing against this, and on top of the only other hot take is like, you just put a brass weight in there to put a brass weight in there, and it doesn't look special. So
meh. I don't even think it's brass. Like, I don't see anything saying that it is a
It
brass.
just says counterweight.
So my thing is how much cheaper would it be if just on the sheer fact of not doing that bottom cutout for that tiny little piece of colored aluminum, could you lower the price 10, 20 bucks just by changing that? Like,
Yeah,
and that would make more of a solid offering.
Interestingly, the actual cost of another counterweight, if you want to buy an extra one, is just $5. So even the machining for the counterweight itself can't be particularly expensive.
Yeah.
But I get what you mean about machining out the recess in the case for it. Yeah, when you look at the price of the extras, $25 for a PCB, $10 for a plate, and $5 for the counterweight. So you're talking $40 there. So $40 means that the actual case is costing $90.
Yeah,
Yep.
that would stand to reason, which makes like no sense.
And
Think of all the keyboards you can get in this hobby for the same price. You can
for $200 you can get a tofu PCB brass plate and a cut and shipping.
Yeah, right. You might even be able to find some cheap Taihao keycaps to go with that as well. So, or at least some Gator and yellow switches or something.
But I mean, and that's at the Founders. But even if you go down to the 130, that's 88. What's it, $88, $90, and then a PCB and maybe an acrylic plate.
Yeah. And I mean, the KBDfans numpad, which starts at $79, is honestly a pretty nice product for the price. I see no reason why you would buy this over that. Just save yourself the, I don't know, what is it, $60, $50 to $60 just for the base price alone. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, there is a really interesting quote in the thread as well. So Rob27, who's in our Discord, who might be watching, hey Rob, if you're watching, he said that nice little numpad, but why so expensive? And the response from Rich Carpenter, who's running this group by, said, amongst other things, and I'm just paraphrasing here, said, but our product is made by 200% of its power. I'm not quite sure what that means, but it's an interesting quote.
It could be lost in translation, maybe. I don't know.
It could be. I do believe this is a Vietnamese studio. In this first picture here, it does say Vietnam, so I'm assuming here.
It is, yeah. Product is made by 200% of its power.
Well, another thing that bothers me about it is, so they have pictures of the like raw pieces, but there's no pictures of like the PCB or what that's going to look like as well. Which I'm assuming that if they are selling it like as a item, it's a custom done PCB. I'm assuming it's a custom done PCB. So why are there no pictures of that or renders of that as well?
Yeah, which is interesting, especially when it's going to ship in January as well. So these are expected to ship early January because they're all pre-made. These are all ready to pretty much go. I think they just need to be anodized.
Also worth noting that it is shipping from Vietnam, and it's going to be around $35 shipping US. So add that on to the base price of $129, and you're looking at, it's above $160 just for the standard numpad here. That is outrageous. That is absolutely outrageous. I got to give this one a hard pass. I can't see ever buying this over a KBDfans option of the same type.
To give it a plus, though, quick group buy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To find the silver lining, the fact that they're already made and all they need to be is anodized, like, some respect there, because
that's true.
For sure.
They've done that to where it's like, hey, we can you're not having to wait 8 months. You're waiting a month. So
I get that. Just to play devil's advocate with it though, if they've already got these pre-made and they're ready to go, is it actually a group buy?
No,
it's a pre-order. It's a pre-order.
Yeah.
Although that can be said about a lot of things. So
for sure. I've just been pedantic.
Yeah, no, I that's a worthwhile point for sure.
Yeah.
I do love the PS at the end. Each boards can't be 100%, but I will try my best to do it perfectly.
Hey, respect.
Standard caveat enter. No worries there. So, if anyone's interested in this, the group buy does open in 2 days, and it's only open for a week. So it opens on the 21st, closes on the 28th. But if you want to save yourself, I don't know, $60+, $70+, $80+, just grab one from KBDfans and use the rest of the money to, buy another one. Just buy two for the same price. I don't know.
And
get one for your significant other.
Santa, right?
Exactly.
Santa,
This just seems like poor value. I gotta say, I'm okay with being a bad guy here. So, Yeah,
I think
poor
we're
value.
all
here.
okay with being the bad guy in this one. Yeah.
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 All right.
Okay, should we move on?
Yeah, let's move on to our next topic here, which is sadly closed right now. But this was the group buy for the Av, which is by the Royal. This was that really, really interesting, I guess not a 40%, but maybe a 50% keyboard here, which had a couple different layouts. It could be in both ortholinear or staggered, which is pretty cool. I think it looks pretty darn fantastic. I'm a little surprised that it sold out so fast, though. I wasn't expecting it. It did have a soft limit of 45, but he said he would do an additional 100 units if there was enough demand. So this opened on the 13th of this month, so just 6 days ago. I don't know if he's in chat right now, but if he is, can you answer this? Did this actually sell 145 units? Is that why this is closed? Because I'm really curious.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I was really sad that I couldn't join this, to be honest, just being completely open. I just couldn't justify it this time of year, but I think this is a really good-looking board. I think it looks fantastic, and as we talked about when the interest check was up a couple of months ago, Brian, I think, for a mini battle station board, it's pretty unique. It's
a
stylish.
really cool product.
Really cool. Yeah, right? It looks great. Everything from the styling to the functionality, it just looks great. So, be dead excited and dead interested to see these when they actually get shipped out to the buyers as well.
Yeah, just a few quick notes on them. It was available in both anodized aluminum and sandblasted polycarbonate. There is brass and FR4 plates included. You get both plates from what it looked like in the kit, which is kind of cool. Ortho or staggered, I believe that's your choice there. You're going to get all the PCBs you need, of course, all using QMK, the daughter boards, etc. Diodes, which you do have to solder yourself. So you do have to do the through-hole soldering of the diodes yourself, which isn't terribly hard, but does add to the work, of course. It does come with the rotary encoder and that sweet brass knob that you see here. And yeah, like I mentioned, 45 unit soft limit, but he was willing to accept an additional 100 orders. So
he's just said in chat actually that he didn't quite get to the 100. He cut it off at 75 aluminium and 45 PC units. There we go.
Okay, interesting. So he did get pretty close to that number. I'm actually kind of surprised because the price here, 355 plus shipping. That's not a trifle amount, but this is a pretty unique board with a lot going on. So maybe that price is justified.
Sure. Yeah. I think it looks great though. It looks really good.
Yeah, what do you guys think about this?
I really like it. I think it's really unique. It's really cool. I did see this post get a lot of traction on Reddit, so I'm not sure how much, how many orders came from that alone. But one thing that I do love is that he went through the sample anodizing of specifically the rose gold color, because that is such a hard color to get right, especially in anodization. So that's really reassuring as someone who's like looking to buy this and you're wanting a rose gold board. You can see, hey, it exists and it's in a decent version of rose gold.
Yeah, and the thread itself is actually really cool because it's obvious he has a prototype already. He has tons and tons of pictures of it. Like he took every possible picture that he possibly could of this prototype, and I think that's really awesome. I love seeing group by threads and interest check threads actually that actually show this much of the prototype. Really, really like that.
Yeah, and they're not just really distant shots either. These are detailed shots.
These are
that
macros,
show things close up. Yeah, they're really, really nicely done. Just a very, very well done group by thread.
Yeah, so.
I really appreciate the kind of hidden gems in it. Like, I will say personally, when I look at this, I'm just kind of like, it doesn't really do it for me. Like, that's just a preference thing.
Yeah.
But I don't the angle at the top is not I'm not a fan of. Like, like if this was flat, I would actually like it probably a little more. But I know exactly what he's trying to go for, and he nailed what he's trying to go for.
Yeah, if it were flat, it would be boring.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, and I would like it, but it wouldn't be as unique. I appreciate that he did staggered and ortholinear, and PCB looks really nice. But I love that he hid the avenue on the top plate, the
nice
top bar
touch.
plate, and then the engraving in the actual plate as well. So it's nice. I'm liking more and more. Less branding on the outside and more, kind of hidden stuff on the inside. I've always enjoyed that.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely kind of an Easter egg effect. I wonder, just to play the bad guy, obviously, I wonder like how warranted that is. Like, how much machine time in dollars does that add? Because you're not gonna ever see it. Obviously, you're gonna see it once. You're gonna put your board together. Like, is it cheap enough
for the plates that are being laser cut? It's less than $1 to have something like the Avenue put into the plate. It's not going to cost a lot. It's minimal cost.
Okay.
It also looks really cool on the polycarbonate one, because you do see the Avenue cut out on the
logo.
Oh,
for sure.
Is there a picture of that one in here?
Well, there's the render of it, but one would assume that if he's not using the insanely cloudy polycarbonate, if it's remotely see-through, it'll be
that's true. I didn't actually
visible.
think about that. Yeah. Huh. That could be pretty cool. Yeah. So unfortunately, this group buy has since closed. So probably shouldn't spend too much time talking about it since no one can actually get it anymore.
What I will say is if there ever is a round 2 of this, I will absolutely have to buy it. I'm just the time of year and everything else and other commitments, I just couldn't afford to join this one at the minute. But I do love this board. I think it looks great, and I've got a very soft spot for battle station style boards, like the Hyper 7s that I did previously, which is coming back, by the way. This just is I can just picture the ideal Reddit post, me having a Hyper 7 with one of these next to it, and I could put min-max in keyboards or something like that. That whole kind of gaming kind of theme on it. Just really good.
Yeah, it has a lot of character, and I think that's one thing that the Royal does really well. Everything he does has this very special character to it that like nobody else does, and it's really, really nice. And I feel like you see that a lot here as well. Not the cheapest thing in the world, but hey, there's a lot going on here, and it is a very unique product, and there seemed to be quite a bit of interest for it, so maybe there will get a round 2 there.
Yeah, absolutely. The Royal, if you are listening, let's do a similar case for this for the Hyper 7. Let's do that together. We'll only make one, but it'll be good.
It sounds pretty crazy, pretty scary. All right, so let's move away from keyboards and over to some key sets here. No shortage of GMK interest checks as usual. This first one, GMK Grand Prix, or as I like to call it, Grand Prix.
Grand Prix. Grand Prix. French.
Grand Prix.
Grand Prix. I'm gonna go with that one.
If you really want to go French, you gotta with R. Grand Prix. Grand Prix.
I'm not cool enough to even attempt that, so I'll leave that to you guys, since you guys are professionals. But so this is a pretty interesting one. This is based around what I'm assuming I'm going to pronounce this right. Tech 3's early 2000s colorway. It's a motorcycle racing team. Yeah. How do you guys feel about this?
Love it. So first and foremost, the inspiration for this is great. So I don't know if any of you guys are into racing of any sort of kind of thing, but engines and gasoline and all of that kind of stuff is my kind of other hobby, my massive other hobby. So I probably plug more money into that every year than I do keyboards to try and give it some kind of level of understanding. So this for me is an absolute win. I've been waiting for something based on racing as a keycap set that works really, really well for a long time. And this is the first one that's come along that actually really fits the bill. It looks good. It has a great bit of heritage in terms of where it comes from. The only thing I would say is I would and whilst I get where it comes from with the Tech 3 stuff, I would actually change the name of it and change it to Formula 1 instead of motorcycle racing, because this really, really fits the Braun GP team of 2009 a little bit better than it does the Tech 3 one in my head. So that's the only thing I would change. But I do think it looks great from that perspective. All of the colours look good. They work well together. The set looks nice and crisp and clean. Really like it.
I totally agree. I think it looks fantastic. Shout out to Pilot XJ for gifting a tier 1 sub to Lore Maniac. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate that. And so one thing to think about though, we've had so many interest checks from sets based around racing themes. Have any of them actually made it to group buy?
No, because they've all not been good. This is the first one that actually has a semblance of looking great, right?
All right, there you go.
I'm being blunt. I'm going to get PMs about this later on. I know. But
you're right though. You're right. Every other one has really fallen short, I feel like, and this one actually seems to deliver. It looks pretty lovely, honestly.
This is how sets like 3 Run could have looked if they'd have been done properly as well.
Oh yeah.
How do you guys feel about this one?
I like it. I think I don't think it would be something that I would necessarily purchase, but I do like the not over the top blue. I like how it's kind of cooler colors. It really makes the green stand out. I saw Nebulant in chat say it's like yellow Yuri, which I definitely see, and I appreciate that. I like it.
Oh yeah, kind of. I see that now.
I know nothing about the theme, so
Same.
there's that. But but no, it's definitely cool. And one of the things that I always look at when I'm looking of whether or not I'm gonna buy a base kit or buy a keycap set is, would I buy it and be okay with just the base kit? And I think with a set like this, I would be okay just getting the base kit, and not feel like I have to purchase the space bars or an add-on kit. I think it looks great just with the standard kit.
Yeah, so let's talk about the compatibility for a second, because the base kit actually not too bad. You do get a numpad here, you do get basic ISO support, you get a slew of accents, and you get all your usual suspects like Sangon, HHKB, all that good stuff.
It's the wrong ISO though.
It is pretty much the limited amount of ISO support that you can offer, but hey, it's probably better than 0 ISO support, probably.
Yeah, I just because this is so close to me, and it's kind of like the two hobbies colliding for me. It's really galling that this doesn't offer the compatibility I want, but I get it, and the actual compatibility in the kit is pretty good. It's pretty good. There's plenty there to go for. So yeah. Oh, big shout out to Langalandia for the 10 tier 1 sub gifts. Thank you very much for that, dude.
Oh my
and
gosh.
Also to 159 for the 1,000 bits. Thank you, dude. Really appreciate it.
And to Nebulant for 100 bits. Thank you so much, guys. You guys are stand-up gentlemen, scholars and/or gentlemen.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Fantastic. All right, so how do you feel about the add-on kit and the spacebar kit here? Seem pretty packed. I don't know the theme, so I don't know how well this add-on kit actually works.
So there is a couple of links to the theme. So if you look where it says Olivier Jacques and Shinya Nakano, you can see what the actual colorway of the livery from the bikes looked like at the time.
Okay.
So you can see where the yellow and the greys come from. The predominant colors, if you ignore the sponsor, the predominant colors for the livery, and then you can see that the orange was very much an accent piece used for numbers and part of the sponsorship deals and things like that as well. So that's where the colors come from. I think the ad kit looks fine. I mean, it's just, a couple of different colorway keys. I think that's where people get the Yuri feel from. That kind of adds the Yuri, essence to it. Spacebar kit looks good. Plenty of compatibility. No extra B key, but you want split spaces. You want accent spacebars. There's lots in there. There's lots to go from.
Yeah, there is supposedly going to be a novelties kit, but the render is not up for it yet. So unfortunately, we can't take a look at that. But overall, colors look pretty solid. All right.
Absolutely.
Do you have any thoughts on this one, Chewy, before we go to the next one?
Honestly, it's not my jam, but I think it kind of looks like GMK Waves like Light Edition.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. To me, like, this is nothing against. I know he's going with a theme. I don't know anything about racing. I think a set should look good regardless of the theme. I'm not saying that he didn't do a good job on this. This is a safe set. It's a very safe, like, it's got your white alphas, your very dark mods, and a nice flashy color on top of it. It looks very clean. I know this will look really good on boards. It just doesn't really do it for me personally.
I completely agree with that. This is actually something I've been meaning to bring up for a while. I feel like I've been really jaded on key sets lately because so many of them follow the exact same kind of format of having that, like you mentioned, the lighter alphas, the darker mods. It is a very safe set, and it can look good, it can look nice, it can look elegant, and it probably will once it does launch. But it is very safe.
It is, and it's something we've talked about before, Brian, when we've said that sets copy the Olivia formula. So they have, a light alpha color, they have a contrasting modifier color, and then they have a really flashy accent key, which is pretty much what you were saying a minute ago, Chewy. So, I think it does follow that kind of formulaic view.
It's the GMK Carbon. It's the GMK Carbon formula.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there were tons of key sets, tons of GMK key sets even that had this same format well before GMK Olivia.
Yeah, but we've talked about it before though on Mechs on Deck, where it's just like people like safe. This set will do well. This set if you look at it and go, it looks like GMK Rudy, it looks like this, it looks like this. I'm like, yes, because a lot of these sets are picking the kind of there's a reason there's bright orange keycaps in the add-on kit you don't have to buy.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah, we've seen so many safe sets lately, and
and it's smart. It's smart. It's really smart. He made the right choice.
Yeah.
On a lot of these colors, and it's going to do well. And it is kind of with how heavy of a theme this is. To me, this is a set that he goes, I want to make a set that looks like this, and I bet other people will like it. Not, I'm going to try and make a set a bunch of people will like.
For sure. I think the other side of this is playing devil's advocate, though. If people try new things and try and do things a little bit differently, it doesn't always work. I mean, look at how Hugo struggled. That did something a little bit different. It went for the Czechoslovakian layout and that kind of support. And even though it does support ANSI out of the box because it doesn't have the legends that people want, it's probably struggled. That's, in my view, that's probably the biggest reason why it's struggled. So I think turning away from that formulaic view and doing things a little bit differently does sometimes mean that sets struggle. And if you want to be successful in your set design, do you have to play it safe, or do you take that risk? And I guess that's
are we
individual
are we ever going to reach a point in the community where just playing it safe is not enough, where you have to actually do something really different with your sets to actually make them sell? I'd be curious to find out, because it's, again, it looks nice. It's a good-looking set. There's lots of good-looking sets out there that follow the same format. But is it enough? Is it always going to be enough? Or will we eventually hit a point where you got to do more?
Well, I think it'll come to a point where you'll just run out of options in terms of colorways. It'll always be too close to something else, and we're probably getting close to that point now.
We are.
In the next year or so, we're probably going to hit that point where anyone tries to do something following the same formula and keep it safe is probably going to encroach onto some of the set that's already run or had an interest check or is out there on people's desks already. So, we do need to start looking at how do we make things look a bit different? How do we try new things? How do we look at different profiles and different colors and how we put them together? It's definitely something that needs to be looked at, I think.
Yeah. Dixie in chat says, doesn't have to be innovative to be great. Absolutely. I completely agree. And that's what I'm trying to reiterate here, is that this could be a great set. Or just like Dixie's set 8008. I think it's an amazing set. Definitely one of my favorites of all time. But it still follows the same kind of format, and where it does, while it can be great, and it will be great, is that always going to be enough? Or are we going to have to start pushing other boundaries for GMK to, make something more interesting in the community? That's just my view on it, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think there's any right or wrong answer here. I think we have to see where the community goes and see what time tells us. I think that's going to be the proof of being the pudding for this one.
Yeah, people think I'm trying to shit on key set colorways. I'm not. That's not the point I'm trying to make here, guys.
We're playing devil's advocate, guys. We're coming up with different things to try and generate content.
Exactly. Man, we get this so often too. A lot of people are like, "Oh, your opinions are wrong. Your opinions are dumb." And it's like a lot of the times we say things on the show, it's strictly to promote discussion between either Jay or myself or chat.
Yeah.
Or the guests or whatever. We're trying to get everyone's brains moving here a little bit, as opposed to just being like, here's a GMK set, here's a GMK set, here's a GMK set.
Exactly. Quite often before the show, Brian and I will agree who's going to play the bad guy on certain things, just so that we can generate that content and generate that discussion and have two different opposing views. If we both agreed on everything all the time,
it'd be boring.
It'd be boring, right? Yeah. Boring.
I mean, the whole point is, our community is growing. How do we make our community the best it can be? And, doing the same thing over and over again isn't always necessarily the best way to make our community better.
Absolutely.
So, just for thought promotion here, that's exactly what we're going for.
And to touch on that, I think what it'll take is a set that is bold, is daring to do extremely well for more people to do that. Because what you also have is the fact of, all right, if I'm a key set designer and I want it to get picked up by a prominent vendor, like a Dixie Mech or a Novel Keys, you have to design it in a way that you think is going to sell a lot.
And right now, this format sells a lot. This is what people like. Right. They like the light alphas, they like the dark mods, and then the flashy accents. That is the formula that's working right now, and we're seeing it be very, very successful across tons and tons of sets. But that might not always be the case. So,
I mean, GMK MAGA is changing the way we do GMK Keycap group buys. So, by 2022, I expect every key set to just be some form of GMK Metaverse.
Man, I never thought we'd actually discuss that on the show, but thanks for bringing that up.
But if that was not
Wow.
supposed to be,
It's not a thing, chat.
Oh my, that is ridiculous. Anyways, Royal did donate 500 bits earlier. Thank you so much for that. Clavier donated $5. Didn't donate bits, but donated $5.
Wow,
which is,
nice fiver.
that almost never
Fiver.
happens. Yeah, that's
novel keys.
yeah,
that's
boom.
really crazy. And Japanese
that.
Horror Writer donated 1,000 bits. Thank you very much for that, guys. And Novel Keys donates 10,000
well.
bits.
No.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Wait, am I seeing this right?
Yep, 10,000. So I was like, novel keys. Holy crap!
Dude,
Oh my gosh.
Holy crap,
that's,
man.
That's a
Well,
lot of bits. Thank you.
10,000 bits.
Thank you, Mike.
Little Christmas gift.
Wow.
Got me sweating over here. Oof.
Wow. Mike, thank you, dude. Thank you.
Thank you all so much.
I don't have the words, guys. You're blowing us away there. Thank you very much for that.
I feel the Christmas cheer now. It's not just only coming from Jay's snowy camera.
Yeah, don't forget my fireplace in the background.
Yeah,
my
his
lovely
oxymoron
fireplace.
camera.
I'm just jealous, honestly. I wish I had the TV with a fireplace behind me and snow on my screen as well. I'm very jealous.
I'll set it up so you can have it next week, dude.
It'll be too
have the
late.
snow on the show.
No. I guess you're right. We are kind of doing 2 Christmas specials. This one and then the next week's one is kind of a Christmas.
It'll be
special as
nice
well.
if we do the snow over the whole thing while we're unwrapping our
Okay,
Secret Santa gifts.
let's do that. Let's do that. Yes. Yeah, I
I'll
got my
fix that
gift
for you
in.
next week.
I got my gift in. I haven't opened it yet, but I did get my gift in. So I'm excited.
I've got my one from the UK Secret Santa in keyboards, but I haven't got mine from the Top Clack one yet. So hopefully that'll come in.
Hopefully, yeah. Still got a few more days on that. Hopefully.
Two postage days here in the UK. So 3 if you count Saturday. So it could come before the show.
It's gonna be sad when it's stuck in customs and you can't open it on stream.
Man, the PC canoe, the polycarbonate canoe, that was in customs for 19 days. 19 days it's in customs.
Good lord.
That's ridiculous. All right, we should get back on topic here, though. I think we've said what
Yes.
we need to say about this set. It does look nice, follows a very similar formula as lots of sets, but it's looking good. Base kit compatibility, not too shabby. Great renders, nice add-on kits there. This will probably be successful. And Jay, the only racing...
Props for the, I forgot to mention, props for the split spacebar accent spacebars.
Yes,
that's true.
Do not see that enough.
Yeah, very good spacebar kit there. And hey, it's endorsed by the only racing enthusiast out of the 4 of us, Jay. So maybe we'll finally see one of these.
I'd still rename it. just let me send you a link.
What problems do you have with Grand Prix? Come on.
Grand Prix.
Grand Prix.
My God. Let me send you a link. Just one last thing on this. Open image, new tab. Let me get a link to this. This is what I think it should be named after. So I'm going to paste this into chat. So that's what I think it should be named after, which is the Brawn Grand Prix car. That was the Formula 1 car in 2009. I think the set fits that better than it does for the motorbikes. But that's just me. I'd have named it after this.
All right, there you go.
I like Dixie's idea. GMK left turn. They're making a left turn.
That's a good one.
They're making another left turn.
Oh man, that's great. See, Matt and Vlogs actually brings up Top Gear, which is really funny because I actually, since I've been like so sick, I've been kind of confined to bed a lot lately, and I haven't really been able to do a whole lot. I've been watching all of Top Gear, Gear. I've finished Top Gear, and I'm actually on like season 3 of the Grand Tour right now.
Wow. Do the old episodes of Top Gear still stand up? Are they still good, or have they
no? It's very politically incorrect, as you might imagine. I'm not going to get too much into it right now, but like this.
Let's go through every single political
bit
and rate it from 1 to 10.
There a lot of the things that they did say back then. If they said now, the show would just canceled instantly.
Did you watch the really old shows from the 80s and 90s, or did you just start with the 2000s?
2002.
May and Clarkson.
2002.
Okay,
yeah, it was Clarkson, Hammond, and actually not May. May actually didn't come in until like season 3 or 4. It was another very overweight gentleman that was,
yes.
rather boring. I forgot his name, but anyways.
Yeah. What a great description.
Yeah.
That's what I want people to say. He's rather boring.
That's what I think when people talk about me. He's a very large, boring man. Oh man.
Bring back Quirn.
Anyways, yeah, exactly. Bring back the better host. But let's move on to our next topic here. We have another GMK interest check. This is Metaverse 2. Not Metaverse Round 2 or Metaverse Version 2, but Metaverse 2, which I think is a pretty interesting name. And of course, we have seen this set before, sort of in the same way, run by, I don't remember who ran it before, but
Dead Encryption.
Well, Dead Encryption is the designer. It did. I actually have the original group by thread up here. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna bring that up. It was okay. It ran on donut cables. Interesting. I forgot about that. Okay, so there are a couple differences here. As you can see, I'm actually gonna go back to the original group buy here. I'm gonna bring up the base kit because it's very, very different from the way it is now. So this is the original base kit from round 1, and it had a ridiculous amount of keys, lots of compatibility. You see UK ISO in there. You got tons and tons of accent keys. You got lots of compatibility. There's space bars in there, lots of them. This is a jam-packed base kit as far as GMK is concerned. The new version, Metaverse 2 here, has been cut down quite a bit. You don't get nearly as much compatibility. You lose UK ISO, you lose spacebars in the base kit, but it has been split up a little bit. So now you have the Royal kit, which does give you a bunch of accents, and you have the Space kit, which gives you a ridiculous amount of spacebar coverage there. Accent space, split spacebar, so that'll make Chewie happy for all the split boards he doesn't use.
Yeah.
The one split board.
Yeah, the one that you probably still don't use. Anyways, yeah, so Metaverse coming back, it enjoyed quite a bit of success during the first run, so why not? Krellbit sees fit to run it again, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm not a fan of removing compatibility that was there in the previous round. I get why they're doing it, to try and make the set cheaper. I can't remember what the price was for the original set when it ran. I would imagine it was in the $140 range, something like that, $150, something.
So at 250 MOQ, which I think it did make, was $145.
Yeah, $145. That sounds about right.
Which at that time was not bad at all for this many keys in a base kit.
Yeah, that's a great price for a really strong base kit.
Very strong.
You're not wanting for anything in that base kit. You've got accent keys and everything you could possibly want. It'll be interesting to see how much the changes to the base kit have affected the price when that's released. And
exactly. Yeah. What's really interesting here is if you take a look at the original round 1 base kit, look at the number pad. So you actually have mod-colored alphas on the number pad, but in the second variation here, we go back to the normal alpha-colored numpad, which I thought was kind of interesting. So I wonder why they decided to change that back.
Don't know. I think it looked better with the black numpad, arguably. But
yeah, it feels like the original base kit had a lot more personality, not just because it had so many keys in it, but with all the accents, that black numpad. I feel like the vision was really being pushed on this. This is based on Persona, which is kind of a game / I don't know, anime / media franchise, I guess is the better way to put it. And I feel like this round 1 base kit really kind of pushed the theme, but splitting up in round 2, maybe it makes more sense for them. Obviously, we should see a much cheaper base kit here. I would estimate somewhere around the $125 range on this one, maybe $130. So maybe that'll make up for it.
So playing devil's advocate here, is that $15 to $20 difference between the price you've just mentioned there and the actual price that the original set ran? Is that valid for the number of keys you've removed? Because there's quite a lot of there's a huge difference in the number of keys there.
It's true. I think for this set, you really have to have the accents. I don't know much about the Persona franchise, but I feel like the accents really gave it a lot of character in the previous run, and the fact that you have to buy a separate kit for them now. Obviously, if you buy the base kit and the Royal kit, which is the accent kit, that's probably going to be more than $145 together. So I think you're probably missing out on a little bit of value here, but maybe people that just really don't want those accents can save a few bucks and just buy the base kit on this one. Hard to say.
Maybe.
How do you guys feel about
wonder, this? So this is a set that I love. I again know nothing about the theme. Not a Persona 5 or whatever the video game is fan.
Sure.
I love the way it looks. What I wonder is with this is how much consideration did they take in what was posted of people who were actually had round 1 and what they used on their boards, and if that was taken into account of what they should include in the base kit, if that was
feel
in
like
terms of trying to price cutting.
I feel like
Because-
that'd be a really good way to go about things, but it would also be really hard to get that information.
Right. I mean, yeah, you could do it from like Reddit posts, Instagram, stuff like that. But as someone who, whenever I see this set, I'm like, I love it in the all black and white variations. I'm like, this is great.
Yeah,
I don't have to pay extra for all the stuff that I don't need.
Yeah, because when you look at this new base kit, what is it really? It's GMK monochrome. It's a black and white set with Japanese sublegends. You has, aside from these this, I think this only one row 1 novelty. How else would you know this is a Persona themed set?
Yeah, and that's the other thing is like Nebulant said, it's so loose on the inspiration. It's like it is. If you're someone who is big into this video game and you're really looking forward to that, you've heard for the past couple of months that Metaverse is going to run again. You're getting excited about the, they entirely cut the gray add-on kit that was in round 1.
Yeah, the round 1 had a lot of options. Look at this.
It was arguably the nicest kit as well, was the grey one.
Right, and that's something that I was looking at probably maybe getting just because I liked the space bars. Some of those little novelties look pretty cool. Now this isn't a full-fledged IC. I think it's a placeholder, as Krobit says. So I'm not sure if there's going to be more available.
Yeah,
but
what I do think is funny is you mentioned novelties. It's not like you get novelties in the other sets though. Like outside of unless you really know what it is, it's GMK with a splash of it's GMK monochrome with sublegends with a splash of red.
Sure. I don't
and now once again, my issue with this set is I don't like sublegends, so it's hard. It also has a purse caps lock though, and I love me a purse caps lock. So it would almost be worth to get this set just for that caps lock.
I mean, it's a nice looking set. I mean, it's classic.
It's clean.
Black and
it's
white.
clean. It's clean. It's got. I love that they went with a theme, but it also, like I said about the last one, it exists outside of the theme. I personally am a fan of. I don't really care that they changed the color of the numpad kit, but they cleaned it up, because I can't stand the dual legends. But I also think it looks a little goofy.
It looks unbalanced.
With it's minimal. It's literally minimal numpad, and then everything else is very busy. So
yeah, it does look really busy. I mean, that is one of the things that I take away from it. With those tertiary legends, it just looks too much with the dark modifier keys around the outside. It's like framing too much. I don't know. You're right when you say busy. That's the perfect word to describe it. It does feel very busy.
I think it would look better if you like on a 60%. When you take out the tilde and you put in an escape that doesn't have anything, and you put in a backspace that doesn't have anything, and it's framed a little nicer, then it's like, oh, okay. The other thing that's, I guess, I don't know if this was on round 1 or not, but so they went with instead of picking a different color, they went with a monochromatic Ephro, which we don't see that often.
Yeah.
So typically in a standard kit, F1 through 4 and F9 through 12 would be white. And the original one, F5 through 8, was red, and then they just made it all black. So there's a lot of interesting changes that I'm curious to see why and where they were made.
To be fair, in the base kit. Round 1 base kit came with both colors.
Correct. Yeah, I was going to say.
Okay.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Sorry.
That's true,
it had the black F keys as well, so you could change the red ones to black.
Yeah, this feels so weird coming after the first run, which that base kit was just enormous with the compatibility that you got. This one just feels not as good.
Let's play devil's advocate then. Okay, if you had to buy, gun against your head, you had to buy one of these two kits. Let's say, for argument's sake, this is $130. Would you rather buy the $130 black and white base set, or would you rather buy the $145 full set with everything else we saw in round 1?
More keys.
I'd pay the extra $15 for that many more keys and that many accents any day of the week.
I'm gonna be different and say I would just buy the cheaper one, because I would never use the red.
That's fair.
Fair.
That's totally fair.
I'd go for round 1.
Round 2, never mind.
Well,
they use a house backspace on round 1, and they switched it to a single line backspace on round 2.
Yeah.
That's like literally.
Okay.
the difference maker.
I will say the one thing I wish I had is the gray add-on kit, because what this really is this is not it is Metaverse 2, but basically what they did is they took the additional keys that you got in round 1's base kit. Like, this is really just round 1 base kit split up, the reds separated, and then there's a spacebar kit. That's it. There's nothing else.
Yeah, Happa in Twitch chat did say there is going to be a 30-key novelty kit that has not been rendered yet.
So 30-key novelty kit. Wow.
So that could be pretty extreme. Could be pretty expensive. Who knows?
It sounds expensive.
I do appreciate that for the diehards of the theme. You know, you're not enforcing it on anyone, but it's there for the people who appreciate it.
Sure. Yeah. I think it makes sense if you get the base kit to a low enough price. Like, if this were like $110 or like maybe even $115, like, I think all of this makes a lot more sense. But at like $130, it makes a lot less sense.
I think the planned price is $115. I think that's what they're trying.
$115 is the planned price, because that could be pretty awesome.
I saw some people saying something about that's the like leaked price is $115. So I think it makes it a little bit more fair.
$115 it's much more attractive.
Much more attractive, yeah. The F-row, like Chewy brought up, the F-row is really throwing me off though, because now that they've balanced out the colors on the numpad, then they go make them, you know, abnormal on the F-row. Like, why have it one way in the first base kit and then change that here? I mean, if you're going to normalize the numpad kit, why would you not normalize the F keys and vice versa? I don't know.
Yeah, so just to run down the pricing that's listed from Krellbit that he put in Discord. $115 for the base kit with a 350 MOQ, a novelties kit of 30 keys, 150 MOQ, $50. So that's actually not that bad.
That's cheap. Not bad. Yeah.
And then the Royal kit, which is the 16 keys for the red, that's $25, and then the Spacebar kit, which is 20 keys, is $35. So that's also pretty good because
they're good prices.
The amount of keys that you're getting. So pretty dang good.
Yeah, so you can get, I mean, what is that? 115 plus 25 plus 35. What's that? 175 plus 50. So it's about $225 to get every single kit in the set, including the novelties.
Yeah, the only thing that is the grey set that was in round 1.
That's not bad.
It's not bad. No, you're right. Yeah.
It's not bad. All right. Well, we've talked about this enough. This is still kind of an early interest check. It's just a placeholder, like he says in here. So maybe once it goes to group buy, we can see what kits actually hold and if they make any changes to this particular base kit. So, yep. All right. Let's move on to another interest check here. This is GMK Lux from Zombumon. I think this is originally from Beaming Robot, but Zombumon has since taken it over. And this is kind of just, I don't know, a black and gold set. There's not a whole lot to say about it because it's
yellow terminal.
It's kind of just, that's kind of what I thought too. A yellow
gold terminal.
It looks like terminal. It looks nice. It's fine.
This is like the other end of the spectrum of safe sets.
Yeah,
it's monochromatic. It's do you like dark sets? Yes. Do you like this color? Yes or no? Yes, you're gonna buy it. No, then you're gonna pass. Like,
yeah, I mean,
it's not offending anybody unless you really hate the color yellow or gold.
Yeah, it looks fine. It looks fine, and maybe that's my issue with it. Is it's not that interesting. But a lot of people right now, like we were talking about earlier, maybe this is part of the formula. This is what is working. People like this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I really, really do like this. I think this looks great. For me, this would work really well. I mean, my kind of whole kind of thing is black boards with brass accents, and this will fit really well.
Yeah.
You guys saw the JO1. This looked great on there. It looked great on the JO2, which is
it'll look great on a lot of boards. Yeah.
Well. And
check
for
out
me, this works really well.
Check out this base kit though, because historically Zombumon really doesn't like to add a ridiculous amount of compatibility in his base kits. He really doesn't like to have ISO at a lot of his base kits. This one has UK. This one has
full UK.
This is about as much compatibility as you can ask for in a GMK base set. You got your Alice B, you got UK ISO, lots of accents, split spacebar support. Is there anything in here you can't find support for except for maybe some 40s?
Minivan.
There are two tabs. There are two tabs. He even went as far as to throw in
The second
tab in the base kit.
It's so you can use the modifiers.
Yeah, so you can double down.
Boards. Yeah, if you chuck a
Because
set white on black,
we see that a lot. We see that a lot in a couple different sets, but never. I haven't seen 2 tabs in a base set.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see anything missing, and personally, I prefer larger base sets that have more compatibility like this. This is much more my kind of way of doing things, and that's just purely from a personal perspective. It makes things cheaper. If I don't have to buy 2 kits to get coverage for ISO, for example, that's significantly cheaper for me. The average cost for me personally for a GMK set's gone from being about $140 to $210 over the past year if I get all the kits I need to support what I need. So for me, I like to see big base kits. This is really good. The only thing that does kind of bother me a little bit is you have no choice but to use the Lux keys for the Windows keys. Those are the only options you have available if you're using a non-wing keyless board, so a board with wing keys. You have to use Lux text novelty on both the left and right side. So that's the only thing I would say is a little bit, do you want to change it or not? But that being said, personally, I like text novelty. I think the Lux works really well there. Yeah, I'm all in for this set.
Yeah. Where's Dixie? I know he likes his text novelties.
I'm really interested to see what the price of this is going to be, because I feel like this is going to be like the golden base kit almost. Like, this feels really good as a base kit.
If this was $135. Why wouldn't you use it as base kit?
It's got to be a must buy at that price. I mean, because I feel like I don't remember who I was talking to recently, but I was having a conversation with someone in the Seattle Discord that I'm in, and we were talking about base kit compatibility, and it's like, what is like the base kit to have right now? Because almost every single set uses a different base kit than the last, and no one really knows like what's like formulaic, like the most best-selling base kit. What makes the most people happy while keeping the price the lowest?
Yeah, I think if I was going to take a stab at answering that question, my guess would be, and this isn't because the set sold well, but it's in terms of base kit and answering the question from a base kit compatibility side, would be GMK Calm Depths, that had a base kit that covered pretty much everything that you could possibly want, and it kept it to $125. So irrespective of whether you like the set or not, that was a really, really strong base kit, very similar to this one, in fact. It didn't have the extra LSB, and there's a couple of other keys it didn't have as well. But for $125, that was really, really well priced.
Yeah, McNoss in chat says no one will be happy. I think it's true to say that you can't please everyone. There's no base kit in existence that's going to make everyone happy, because if you include every single key, then everyone's going to have to pay like $250 for a base kit. Yeah. Everyone's going to be unhappy. So you have to balance how cheap a base kit can be with the maximum amount of compatibility for the most amount of people. And it's a really fine line to walk. And if this is anywhere near $130, this has got to be a home run in terms of base kit.
And it has the benefit of being a monochromatic set, because you're not having to make 2 tildes, you're not having to make two different pipe keys. And so I think like this and like a set like Nines is awesome, because it's like, cool, instead of having like these 9 keys I'm never going to use, I'm going to get compatibility for things that I don't have to spend in another kit now, and I think that's great.
Yeah, and you chuck in another set of alphas from another set that kind of matches this, and you've got 2 base kits effectively.
Yeah,
so.
And I really love the movement towards doing that, because that really does start to maximize the value of GMK sets. Because how many of us use a GMK set, let's say on a 60% board, then the other half of your GMK set, the other 50, 60, 70% of your GMK set is just sitting unused in a tray or in a bag. I mean, I have...
Look at how many keys are in here.
Exactly. And if you're like me, you'll probably never even use those, ever. And it's kind of a bummer to always be paying for keys that you're literally never going to use, especially when it comprises 50% or more of the base kit. So, it's kind of nice to see movements towards people actually being able to put some of these caps that they would never use otherwise to use.
My thing with this is, in terms of the coloring, I love the theme, or not the idea of the set, the black and gold. I love black and gold. My problem is gold is extremely hard to do in plastics.
It just winds up yellow almost.
So this is one of those things I kind of hope that when this does run, that I think it will do better if they go ahead and do color matching prior, or try to do some color matching prior to the set releasing. Because if they can knock that gold out of the park and kind of make people like me be a little bit more reassured with the gold, I think it'll do better.
I think one thing that can be said for Zampamon is his color matching is always on point. He's never had a bad set in terms of coming out with color matching. I think for me, you're absolutely spot on. It's how yellow is that gold, and is it actually golden? I think someone just mentioned it in chat a couple of seconds ago that if this was closer to the Red Samurai gold color, that would be really, really good. It would work really well. I think that's the best golden color we've seen from GMK so far, is what we've seen in Red Samurai. So
that's probably
I
true.
completely agree with you.
I mean, if you think about a set like GMK Olivia, which, you know, she's known for rose gold, that's kind of the theme here, but it's not like the legends or whatever are rose gold in GMK Olivia. I mean, you just can't. I feel like gold, like rose gold, just doesn't translate to GMK plastic.
Yeah. Metallic can't go plastic.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well. I mean, you can get metallic ABS, and Mike from Novakeys has said, "Let's just get GMK to do it." Now, I asked GMK about doing this maybe. When was I in Seattle? 6 months ago when we were talking to Andy. I think one of the things that we did ask him is why doesn't GMK do metallic coloured plastics? Because we know that they exist, and you can get chromed plastic and all different types of thing as well. His answer was just one of consistency. They can't make it consistently enough across a range of keycap sets. And if you looked at set 1 to set 200 that came off the production line, there would be a difference in terms of the actual colors, where right now there is no discernible difference between the colors that they can run. Additionally, the additives that they had to put in, like the kind of pigments that they have to put in, change the setting times and things like that of the plastics, and it causes more stretch and decompression and different problems with the legends as well. So there's actually a lot higher failure rate when it comes to QC when you're using those types of plastics. But that being said, if you could convince them to do it and you were willing to pony up the cash, GMK might be able to do it.
It'd be interesting to see, but obviously, you're going to have to...
You need an accent kit. Just do an accent kit.
Yeah, right? Yeah, someone do metallic Mr. Sleeves or something similar.
Yeah.
Let's try it.
Well, because that's where it would look good. That's where you don't run into issues with the additives and the swirling. If you're thinking like a caps lock key, that's where you could run into where it looks real funky because it's like completely different hues all the way across.
Yeah.
So things like your space bars and your inner keys and your escapes where it's the full color, I think those would look really cool.
Yeah, Mike, Novel Keys, Mike, I'm going to reach out to you. We'll see if we can do something. I've got an idea, so let's see if we can get something going.
Nice. All right, so closing thoughts on this one. I feel like it's an okay looking set. It follows a simple monochrome formula that a lot of people are into, and the base kit looks like a home run in terms of compatibility. It's one of the best ones I've ever seen. So who knows?
For me, this is a home run of a set.
Yeah, I'm excited to see I'm excited to see the price.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to see it on some more boards. I think there's only a couple of boards there. I'd like to see it in some different lighting conditions and things as well, because there's just yellow, black, and white backgrounds there. Maybe some actual renders in proper scenes would be useful for this to try and help discern how good that gold is. But either way, I'm all over this. It fits my kind of style of board, so it's definitely something I'm into.
All right, cool. All right, let's move on to everyone's favorite set this week. This is the interest check for GMK Pooped in the Pool. I know Osiris is really, really excited for this one. This is by Slippery Pete ED. And I did message him before the show to ask if this was a joke or not. And he did say, while it is kind of a joke, he does want to see the colorway ran. And I'm not going to read through the inspiration, but I highly suggest you do, because it's one of the best inspirations for a GMK set I've ever seen in my life. And let's talk about the colorway on this one.
Sure.
It's awful. I think it's terrible.
This is a stupid set. I'm sorry.
It's truly
just a stupid set.
The only part I like about this set is his actual inspiration, because I was so gripped in on the story of why.
Hand her by it looks like GMK Olivia next to this set. God.
Like
this makes Handabat look like the buy of the century.
It's so awful. So obviously, if you guys haven't read the description, the alphas are supposed to be kind of poop colored. The mods are supposed to kind of simulate water as well as the legends on the alphas, and then the yellow accent is supposed to represent urine, because let me try to find the exact line here. Here it is, because it's kind of funny. Because who poops without peeing at least a little bit? That's why those accents are there, and I find that quite hilarious, but ultimately I think the colors are highly unsuccessful in my eyes.
The thing I love about this the most is this is a pretty decent interest check.
The interest check's actually not bad. It needs more renders. It needs good renders, because there's only a couple, and they're pretty low res and they're very poor angles. But
Really,
This is
What I'm saying is, regardless of the memeing, regardless of the fact that he has his vendor is Walmart, the fact is, this is, to me, this is a shot at all the people right now who are releasing very low effort interest checks. This dude comes out with an interest check that is better than a lot of what I see on Keycap every week.
it's true. It's
And
true.
it's about pooping in a pool. Come on.
It's true. And once again, I can't stress this enough, guys. Everyone in chat, when you get a second, go read the inspiration. It really is worth your 2 minutes of time.
right?
Can
Can we
I'm
talk
a-
about this? Sorry, go
I
on,
want
go
to
on.
talk about, like, on a design standpoint, actual. Like, let's go with the theme. Why are the legends blue on the brown? Why?
If you read the inspiration, it'll make a little bit more sense to you.
Okay, then all right. Well,
Let's just say it involves some. I'm trying not to get too technical for Twitch's terms of service here, but you know, he just got done eating some spicy nuggets, and maybe they were upsetting his stomach a little bit, and his bowel movement wasn't quite as composed as it could have been.
In the lifeguard world that I worked in for many years, we called that brown water
Oh no!
Yeah.
on the
Oh,
radios.
One, if you know the Bristol stool scale,
Yep,
he had what is called the sevens.
yep.
No.
That's brown water. That is brown water. Clear the
Wow.
pool.
Yeah, so I think it's pretty unsuccessful. Let's look at the compatibility for a second, because this is
GMK Caddyshack.
this is one of the weirdest compatibility
I'd buy that
setups
over
that I've
this.
ever seen. Okay, so let's take a look at here. We have keys for UK ISO. We got UK ISO support. We have no full right shift.
Partial UK ISO support.
Yeah, no shift.
No, there's
There is a shift. There's no
there's a
2
shift.
and there's no 3.
there's
no
a,
two in
yeah,
there.
there is. Yeah, there is.
They're on the far left.
Far left.
Oh, so far left. Okay, so it has got UK ISO support. Okay.
You got UK ISO. You have no 1.5 backspace. You have no full 275 right shift. You have some 40s compatibility, some plonk and ortholinear kind of compatibility here going on. What is this?
Yeah.
This is a mess. There's no other way to get around this. This compatibility is an absolute mess. The colors, absolute mess, even though I know it's supposed to be an absolute mess because of the theme.
Yeah.
I don't know what else
Missed
to say about
opportunity
this.
for the peaky not being completely yellow. Just saying.
Yeah,
just a blank yellow key there. Yeah. I
Yeah,
like
just
that.
a blank
That's
yellow
the,
key.
That's the only good idea about this set that anyone's had.
it's
blank
good
yellow
for a
key.
laugh, and the inspiration really is hilarious to read.
Just
that's about all I got out of it.
Taking away from that side of it, okay, because I really dislike the whole kind of, you know, it's a meme set and everything else. If this was a serious interest check without all of the kind of meme story behind it, and it had a different name, I don't know, call it whatever you want,
Sure.
but not pooped in the pool, do you think the colours actually work enough for this set to run and be successful in a group by status? Because if I'm being completely honest, I look at it and I don't see that happening.
The colors are a little too conflicting.
If you take yellow out, maybe.
Blue and brown is an odd combination, but I'd like to see more renders of it, because I don't want to fall into the habit of just being like, yes, let's go back and just use the normal formula that works, because I do want to see people putting out interest checks with colorways that other people are just too afraid to do. I like pushing the boundaries, and I like seeing people push the boundaries. I think this interest check doesn't give me enough renders to make a final decision on whether or not that could look cool or not. I think there is potential there, but as it stands right now with the info from this IC, I don't think it looks very good.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird. It's weird why Slippery Pete actually calls out, and he says somewhere in the intro chat that the kitting will include support for everything except for the minivan, full-size right shift, and HHKB space. I mean, why wouldn't you put a full-size right shift in? I don't get that.
I have to assume that the compatibility here is a joke. There's no way this is the final kit breakdown that he would want to go for. I think. I'd be very surprised if he could, because this base kit is very strange.
Yeah,
it just seems like someone who took something, like they were upset about a whole bunch of different things in the community this year, and so they just made all of them the opposite of those things happen in the in their set. Like maybe this is the exact compatibility he uses, and he's just upset because maybe he was left out of something, and he thinks it's hilarious that everyone's doing the comparison to GMK Olivia, and then like the desk mat thing. I don't know. It just
maybe. I mean, maybe this is a set that is really geared towards sub 60% users, people that use these 40%, 45%, 50%, what have you. Because obviously, all the extra compatibility in this set goes to 40% keyboards. There's there's really not a whole lot else.
I guess he's an avid 40% user.
He is. He's massive in the 40% Discord. I love Slippery Pete. He's a great guy. I get on well with him. He's fantastic. Yeah. He's genuinely lovely to speak to. And the 40s Discord is one of the nicest places on the net if you go there expecting to talk about memes and stuff like that. But being frank, I just feel like this isn't going anywhere, and maybe you're right, Chewy. If you took the yellow out and you just had the blue and brown, then there might be something there in the set. But I just feel like it's just not going anywhere.
I think there is a faint glimmer of potential somewhere in this set, but it hasn't come out yet.
Sure. Okay, and with that, should we move on?
Yeah.
I think that's a good way of summing it up.
Yeah, let's. You don't want to talk about this anymore?
I closed that tab a long time ago.
Oh, man, that's funny. All right, let's move over to something that's not an interest check. This is a group buy for GMK Toxic. This is kind of I guess what you might call an OG colorway in our community, a tried and true. I believe this originally ran in DCS, which, might as well not exist anymore because our community pretty much hates it. But anyways... GMK Toxic with its trademark toxicity numero here, that full accent numero. How do you guys feel about this?
Yeah. So I'll be honest, I'm not a massive fan of the colorway, but I love the fact of having that separate colored numero. I think there is a few sets that have done that really well historically in the past. Nebula knows which set I'm talking about.
Skull Squadron.
That's the one. Yeah. So I really do like doing that in sets. I think it can look really well. Personally, I'm not a fan of these colors. This feels just like a slightly different tweak on terminal to me, to quote Chewy when we were talking about the other set earlier on. And I'm not quite sure it works. I think the Toxic mods would have been better in the base kit, personally. But other than that, I think it's fine. It's just fine.
Sure. How do you guys feel about it, Osiris, Chewy?
You can go.
I mean, I'm not into the toxic color, the super bright yellow, the highlighter yellow. It's not for me.
Is this GMK Lux? Is this what GMK Lux is gonna look like?
Maybe. It's pretty close. I mean, it's also pretty close to Nines. It's also very close to Terminal. I mean, you could go on and on with the different sets that it's close to.
A bright yellow on a dark gray / black.
Yeah, I mean, it's Skadata. Like, you can go on and on with anything that uses in 9.
For sure, yeah.
So, I mean, it's a set that I think will do well. I think Originative is a great place for it to run on because it's not going to be something that's going to go crazy in sales.
That's true. Well, I think I believe Toxic is a Control-Alt.io colorway. I believe originally when it ran in DCS in 2013 or 2014 or whatever, and they tend to always work with Originative whenever they do stuff like this, generally speaking. So maybe that could just be why on the partnership. Although I don't know. I don't particularly care for this set, but I think the defining feature of this set has to be that bright yellow numero. I think that's kind of the defining characteristic of that, and though I don't like it, I think it does work out for a lot of people. Let's take a look at some of the other kits, though. So base kit, it has decent compatibility. You do get maybe some keys cut out because they do give you the more standard colored numero on that, so you actually have both full numeros depending on what color you want to use. So that adds a lot of keys. So they probably
includes it includes the keys as well across the TKL cluster and the numpad cluster as well. So it's not just the numero, but I agree. It does add a lot of keys.
Yeah, adds a lot of keys, so maybe you don't get quite as much compatibility as you might normally want, but it does cover a lot of the standard stuff. You do have basic ISO support, you do have, Sangon, HHKB, 65-75% kind of stuff going on, so still kind of a rudimentary base kit, but it does have some compatibility nonetheless. There is the Toxic mods kit also, so if you just don't get enough of that yellow from this this row here, you can make all of your mods that color, and that is just completely blinding, and I think it's ridiculous, but hey, I think that's kind of the theme of the set, is to be kind of ridiculous.
It's supposed to be toxic, right?
Yeah, and there's no way around this. There's 2 novelties kits as well. There's the normal Toxic novelties kits, which gives you your on-sea enters and all of that good stuff there. And then there's the Desolator kit, which is a little bit more geared towards some alternative novelties as well as ISO novelties. And though I've never been a fan of the whole like skull kind of themes, I do think the ISO novelty is really successful here.
For sure, yeah. The ISO and the numpad ends.
Yeah, we've talked about this, at length over the last several episodes too. People are finally starting to utilize all that extra space you get on that huge ISO enter key for novelties. Yeah, and it's really cool. It's fun. It's playful.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think we've seen a lot of that recently. There's been a few sets, Nathan Alphaman's set jumps to mind with his Paddington ISO enter. There's this one as well. Why not use the canvas that we've got for it, guys? If you're going to do a novelty and you're going to do an ISO one, then there's a lot of space to play with. There's a lot of creativity to be had with those particular keys. I'll be honest, I think that this particular set, the Desolator kit, is better than the Toxic novelty set.
Agreed.
I would have just shoved the Toxic backspace into the base kit and then run this Desolator kit. I think that's personally my take on how I would have done it. And it's nice to see some of the keycaps that were from Carbon being reintroduced as well, such as Assault kit and a couple of the other ones as well. But I think this does skills quite well. I think this actually works quite well.
Dixie says people who wear Tap Out shirts buy this set. Is Tap Out still a brand? I don't think I've seen a Tap Out.
Probably get it at Kohl's.
This must be an American brand. What's Tap Out?
It's like it's what a lot of like MMA fighter people like.
It's like barbed wire skulls.
Yeah, lots of barbed wire skulls.
It's
lots of streaking. Go look at any metal band from 2000 and look at the album, and then just put that on a shirt.
It's pretty bad. I gotta admit. I did own one Tap Out product at one point in my life. It was an undershirt when I used to do MMA.
There you go. That's appropriate.
It was at the time. It was like 2008 or 9 or whatever. So it was pretty appropriate. But
I actually don't hate this set at all.
Okay.
The reason I won't buy it is because the second to last render, I actually really like.
Second to last render.
The second to last one is just a 60%, and it's got the icon. It's got the icon mods, but not the bottom, but yeah, second to last. I like that. That's a clean look. I think that looks awesome, because it's vibrant, but it's not super in your face, and it's that reverse of the standard. I also think that, I know the Toxic novelties might not be for everybody. I think the Toxic, outside of the word toxic, I think those are some of the best novelties out there. Up there with camping. Up there with camping of bubbles and a little thing and a cylinder of bubbles. I think that's
in terms of fitting the theme. You mean?
Fitting the theme and looking clean. I'm you nailed it because you went simplistic and it gets the point across.
That's true, actually. I completely agree. Even though the novelties aren't really for me, I think you're absolutely right. They are simple. They are easily achievable by GMK, and you just really didn't go overboard, and I kind of respect that, because I feel like lately a lot of people really are going overboard on novelties.
If you want to know how to do novelties, King Dynasty. He does the best, like hands down.
He does, yeah. I had a good
He does the best novelty keys ever, and the only reason I won't get this is because how I would want to put this on a board, I would have to get 3 different sets, which would cost me a lot of money.
The mod kit is $95.
Yeah,
mod kit is $95.
So just to get mod kit, I'd be spending $5 less than what GMK 9009 ran for. So
yeah,
that's why I won't get this set.
For reference, also the base kit is at $125. So
yeah, so
about
I'm
what you would
already
expect.
200, and then whatever the novelty, probably like $40. So I'm spending $250 for a kit that I kind of like. So
sure.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and move on to our next topic. But before we do,
just before we do, oh, sorry, I was just going to say, can I just call out?
You and I both were about to say this. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So Mike from Novel Keys, he's just said that the JO1 raffle is currently at 1,726 tickets sold. If we hit 2,000 tickets sold by the end of this stream, he will give an NK65 away to a random raffle entry. Now that's amazing and fantastic, but it's not the only thing. Dixie has also been an absolute legend and piped up and said he will also chuck in a set of DualShock to that person who wins as well. So if we can sell, less than 300 more raffle tickets for a great cause, the Sue Rider charity, by the end of this stream, so probably within the next hour or so, then there'll be an NK65 and a set of DualShock given away to a very, very lucky person. So please, guys, let's see if we can do this. Let's see if we can get this right up to 2,000. I will be absolutely amazed if we can, and I will love you all forever if we do make it.
That is amazing. Novel Keys and Dixie Mac, both fantastic people.
When the community comes together like this, just it makes me want to cry. I'm so close to crying.
I know. I'm starting to choke up just a little bit.
You can probably see my eyes are almost watering here, guys. This just breaks my heart in terms of, makes me feel love for everyone, because it's just so good and so kind of you all to be like this. So thank you very much for supporting everything that you do. And let's see if we can break that 2,000 ticket barrier. Let's see if we can do it, guys. Let's
get it, guys. 2,000 by the end of the stream. That's only about 274 more tickets before the end of the stream, and they're only $5 a pop. That's pretty cheap. And you can win a free keyboard, NK65. It's gonna be an awesome board, as well as a set of GMK DualShock. That is fantastic. And that's a nice looking set. So
and of course, there's always the board that you could try and win as well, the JO1 as well. So
that's right. Three potential prizes here. Three pretty high profile prizes. Yeah.
Yeah. You could actually win both. There is a small chance that you win both. Yeah, there is absolutely a small chance you win both. Yeah,
that's amazing. And so get on that, guys.
Boom. Just bought 2 tickets myself.
Oh, thank you, Chewy. You are a legend. Thank you, good sir.
Heck yeah! Everyone follow Chewy's example. Let's get this there. And
$10.
We'll make Jay cry on stream. That'll be fun.
Wow. Yeah.
You better cry.
All right, so we'll
punch myself in the crotch to make me cry.
We'll make sure. We're actually coming up towards the end of our news doc here, so after that, we'll make sure to give people a reminder, and we can maybe check in and see where we're at in a little bit here. We still, like Jay mentioned, we still have about an hour or so left on this stream. So,
yeah, absolutely. People posting in chat that they're buying more tickets. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it.
Holy crap! Mountain Block says 15 more tickets. Mountain Block just bought 15. Wow. Pilot XJ just bought 10. Mm-hmm. Jesus. All right, people are.
A couple more from Mike Clicks.
Amazing.
Yeah, wow. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Oh, this is amazing.
This is one of those times where I'm very happy to be in this community. I'm very proud.
It just genuinely warms my heart when people come together like this to support a really good cause, and I can't wait until the day that I can actually take the check into the Sue Rider charity, and me and my brother are going to go down in person. We're going to hand over the cash and do it all in person. We'll make sure we get some nice pictures as well and put them in the Discord servers and everything else, because yeah, just so happy when the community comes together like this.
All right, awesome. So we got to remember to ping Mike. We're gonna ping Novel Keys a little bit later. He has to head out for a bit, but we'll ping him before the end of the stream, and we'll get an update there.
Yeah, and shout out to Matty Blocks as well. I'm really sorry to hear that, dude. If you want to reach out and you want to have a chat, man, I'm always available for a talk.
I am as well.
It's not a nice experience, so yeah, please do reach out if you want to chat.
Yes, absolutely. All right, let's move on to the last topic in our news doc, actually. And this is a pretty interesting one. So this is the interest check for Durock silent linear switches, which is kind of interesting because we haven't actually seen those before. But Prime KB does have an upcoming switch called the Alpaca, which is supposed to be a silent linear switch manufactured by Durock. So maybe it's going to be something very similar to that. We don't have any pictures, unfortunately, but he does say it is their own patent with different silencing method from Cherry and Gateron.
There's some pictures in the IC form. If you open up the IC form, there's some pictures there, bro. Yeah, there's pictures.
Okay, so that's a switch. All right. So
yeah, it's a switch.
how do you guys feel about this? So he was originally aiming for a price of about 70 cents per switch, which is, it's getting up there. He has since made a small update and said he's going to try to reach down to 60 cents per switch for the group buy. So what do you guys think? A silent Durock linear switch at 60 cents a piece, is this interesting at all?
I mean, if they're as good as the standard Durock linears, then yeah, why not? I mean, we have some good silent switches on the market, but if you want the cream of the crop, you can only really look at Helios right now. Even the silent inks aren't that great compared to normal ink. So if these are as good as the standard linears, then yeah, why not? I think having more silent switches and more switches in general is a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Helios at a bit higher of a price bracket. Those usually start around $1 a piece on Zeal's website. So that is, like you mentioned, I agree. I'd probably say Helios probably are the best silent linear on the market right now, but obviously it does come at a price. At 60 cents a switch, this is going to directly more compete with the silent inks. So, what was the heart for?
For Nebula, he just DM'd me. And well, he's bought an insane number of raffle tickets. So yeah, the heart was for him. Yeah.
All right, I'll add to the heart there, even though I'm bad at hearts.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Chewy Osiris, how do you guys feel about this? Durock.
I hope it hits because I'd love to see more switches, but I don't like silent switches. Not for me. But I want to see it flourish because we want as much out there as possible. So.
Sure.
Just not for me.
I've heard really great things about the current linear Durock switches, so I think this is exciting to see what a silent can do and see if it has the same kind of hype around it like the current linear Durocks do. It says that these are going to be the same switches as the silent Alpaca switches that Prime KB is doing, which is actually I think Prime KB is out here in Dallas, where we are. So we should have a chance to try those out at some point. But yeah, I think it's cool. Like Chewy said, love more switches. I have some silent switches in a board. Actually, the board I'm using right now, my Orange 75, I have some silence. I didn't do it out of like necessarily a want and preference. I did it out of hey, I take this board to work and I want to be nice to my coworkers and not use holy pandas all the time. And so I don't know, silent, I like the way switches sound. That's a big thing for me, is the sound of the switch, and I know it is for Chewy as well. So like he said, just to kind of reiterate it, it's not really for me. If I go for a linear, I like the creams, I like the way they sound. Inks also do sound pretty good, but yeah.
I mean, silent switches maybe are starting to fall off a little bit in the community, as the community really has been making a push towards better sounding switches and boards overall. Sound didn't used to be as important as it is in the community today, and maybe silent switches are hurting a little bit for that. One thing I do want to touch on, because I had to expand this picture quite a bit just to see it, but they say that it's using a new silencing method that Cherry and Gateron don't use. However, if you look at this picture in the bottom here, you can see that there's a little foam pad or a little rubber pad or whatever at the top of the side of the rail and the bottom. That's what we see on almost every other silent switch on the market. So I wonder what's actually different about that to differentiate it from the other offerings.
Perhaps a different material. Usually it's a little bit of white rubber that we see there. Maybe this is something a little bit different. Maybe Pora or something like that. Just speculating here, but it could be a different material.
Okay. That is certainly a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if that is the case, it's a little bit misleading in the way that it's marketed as like it's a different method from cherry. That's the same method, just a different material. Like a palm plate and a brass plate are both plates, but they're made out of different materials. They achieve the same goal, and have the same function.
You wouldn't call them a different method.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
So I'm interested to see if they come out with a little bit more clarification as what that is. Sorry, just laughing at what Nebulant said. But yeah, so we'll see. I think once they come out and once people have them in hand and can really dissect the stems and see, maybe it's something in the housing. That was what my first thought is. Maybe there's something in the housing rather than on the stem that's aiding in the silencing.
Sure, yeah, that definitely could be. Also, just because I missed it so long ago, quick shout out to 159 who did donate 1,000 bits earlier. Totally missed
thank
that.
you, dude.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, so yeah, they're still working on colors. They have different colors potentially. Obviously, nothing is finalized. So if you want to see something in particular, maybe fill out the IC form. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe we can get some samples of this. But at 60 cents a Switch, that's starting to get up there a little bit towards the really premium kind of Switch stuff. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I was really happy with the marshmallows, which I don't think those didn't technically come out of Durock, I don't think. But it's like a side factory or whatever, a sister factory. Well, J something K. I don't remember.
JWK.
JWK. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah. What I will say is Vickery G, who runs Optic Boards, he's not actually far from me, so I might just drop him a message and see if I can get hold of a couple of these switches and try them out. And see what
he's in the UK. Look at that.
I've spoken to him a few times. Yeah, he's not too far away from me, so we'll do that. And just going back to the giveaways that Mike and Dixie mentioned as well. If we hit the 2,000 ticket mark on the JL1 raffle, McNoss has just PM'd me as well. And if you don't know McNoss, he's about to run a set called Fuyu, and that's going to be going into group buy early next year. He's promising a set of that to the winner as well. So you get an NK65, GMK DualShock, and Fuyu as well. So there you go, guys.
It's like
one person.
That's up to like 4 pretty big prizes so far.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy. Thank you so much, McNoss. That is very,
really
very kind of you.
It is.
Don't be nice to McNoss.
Yeah, come on, man. He's only number 1 in our server.
He's a good friend. He's a local friend.
I've had nothing but pleasant interactions with him. So
That's good, dude.
I wonder what that's like, because I don't know what that's like.
Yeah, I mean, whenever I talk to you, Chewy, it's always like the worst time of my day. So
exactly. I mean,
wow,
that's what I strive for. At least when you're done talking to me, you can go, all right, got the worst part of my day out of the way. No, it's all uphill from here.
Yeah, it's all good from here. Yeah.
Oh my god. All right. Well, that is actually going to wrap up our news doc. So momentarily, we're going to start our Q&A. So make sure to get those questions in now. We're going to talk about our sponsors just for a moment before that, though. So if you do want to get some questions in, now's a really good time to start. Just use the @TopClack tag so we can see them a lot easier. And we will try to get to every question that we possibly can, whether it's about keyboards, whether it's not about keyboards, whether it's for Chewy and Osiris, whether it's for Jay or myself. Everything goes within terms of service, of course. But
of course.
you guys know the drill. You guys know the drill. Anyways, speaking of switches, some that are tried and true, you can head over to zealpc.net/topclack. That's our affiliate link. Helps us out quite a bit. He has all the normal array of switches in his normal lineup that you'd expect. He's got Telios if you like linears. You got Zealios if you like tactiles. He has all sorts of silent variations, including Helios, which are linear, Xylants that are tactile. Lots of different colors going on right now. He has the Aqua Xylants if you're more into the kind of aqua blue kind of aesthetic going on. He does have a Christmas sale still going on. Everything is 15% off, so if you want to buy some switches from Zeal, I think now's a really good time to do that. It's a pretty nice discount. And you can use our affiliate link, of course, zealpc.net/topclack to help us out a lot. Way more than you think it does, guys.
Yeah, it's a big help.
It's like, I don't know if we're allowed to say it. I'm gonna say it anyway. It's like 10%. That's really, really big for an affiliate link.
Yeah, it really does help out. Like, it helps us
Monstrous.
keep producing the content that we do. So yeah, please do consider using that. And also, please consider looking at novelkeys.xyz. A few things to call out from Mike and gang at the minute. The first thing is GMK Olivia ++ is still in group buy right now. This is a rerun of GMK Olivia with some extra bits and pieces as well. So as well as the original set, which was the lovely white and black and pink set, we've now also got the dark set too. So you can pick that up as well if you want to have a look at it, as well as a number of other optional kits as well, such as the ISO kit, the extension kits, the Rama Enter and he keys as well. So please do take a look at those if you are interested. It's already selling thousands of sets, so definitely go take a look at that. As well as that, if you do like desk pads, some of the nicest desk pads, I've got to be honest, that have ever existed are these Olivia ++ desk pads. Mr. Petrov, I'm still really frustrated that you got one of these in your grab bag from Mike, and I didn't, because this is quite possibly the nicest one I've ever seen. Really love these, so do consider picking those up as well. Other than that, guys, Mike has got pretty much everything you could need, from switches, springs, desk mats, wrist rests, tie-how caps, you name it, he's got it. So if there's anything that you're interested in at all, then you can probably pick it up from Mike's store to help you finish a build, to test out a new build, to try something new, to try something different. Mike's got the lot. And just to call out once again, guys, the final thing as well is there is the JO1 raffle ticket. He is going to check out an NK65. Dixie's going to check out some dual shot. McNoss is going to check out some Fuyu. And of course, there's still the opportunity to win a JO1 if we can hit 2,000 tickets by the end of today's stream. Then those guys are going to chuck those in as extra prizes for some very lucky people. So the JO1 raffle ticket is still up there for a really good cause. So please do consider joining and helping us out for that.
I dare you to hit add to cart.
I was just increasing the quantity the entire time Jay was talking. I got up to
that, but yeah,
I got up to 356.
Wow. Well, if you buy those, Brian, we've made the 2,000. So there we go.
If I buy those, I'll be really, really far in debt. I'll be really, really overdrawn in my bank account. Anyway, sorry, moving on. Input Club, our next sponsor over at Kono.store, has several things going on. Lots of GMK sets still going on. GMK Ursa is still up right now. I love that one. I think that has one of the best novelties kits I've ever seen in it. So if you're into forest themed GMK sets, kind of a bear theme going on there, then that's for you. If you're more into Pokemon, then there's a Pokemon theme set with GMK Umbra. If you're more of a nerd, there's GMK ASCII. That's pretty nice too. If you want the second best GMK Shark themed set, then GMK Sharkbait is still up. I believe that closes very, very soon. GMK Yugo still struggling really, really hard. It has been extended. I don't know if it's going to make it, guys. Let's be real here. It probably won't, but I really hope it does, because I freaking love this set. So maybe, give that a push. Maybe give that a push.
To everyone that says it doesn't cover ANSI in the base, it does. You can cover an ANSI board in the base kit, so don't let that put you off buying.
Absolutely. You absolutely can. Yep. And of course, they do have an array of other things as well, like entry-level keyboards from the Hex Gears lineup and other things going on as well. So make sure to check that out. Join one of the million GMK group buys that they have going on, preferably Yugo. Yes. All right.
Absolutely. Jumping over to KBDfans, Way & Co. have got a few different things that we want to call out for you this week. First thing is they've got the Tofu 96 back in group buy, so you can pick up one of those for a pretty good price as well, I was thinking. You know, when you take a look at what you get for the set, it's a 96 key keyboard, it's a pretty nice case, some sharp edges, that you can get that for $179, so that's pretty good. In fact, it's showing us sold out. Is that finished?
It was that finished? It was fine earlier before the show. I think it sold out during the show. Typical Top Clack.
There we go. That's what we get for refreshing it. So scrap the Tofu 96. But if you are I'm going to check this is actually live before I go and say it now. Okay, so the pre-order for the KBD 67 Mark II as well is finished, unlimited. Yeah, okay, so we can't cover that either. But they do have the Max Key SA Mo Choco keycaps as well. You can still pick those up in group buy. And even if they don't have anything in group buy, the thing you can count on KBDfans for is some really, really well priced base kits of pretty much every possible layout board you could possibly want. So if you want a 40% or you want a TKL or whatever, Way & Co can generally help you out with that. So they've got kits that support pretty much everything. As well as that, they also have the B-Stock store, which is where some of the really good bargains are dropped on. Ryan's focusing on those numpads that you might want to pick up rather than what we talked about in Group Buy earlier on. And I don't think I can see that, Ryan. Don't think I can see
Okay.
but yeah, looking at the B-Stock store, guys, if there's anything that you ever want, there's often, deals for boards that maybe have some slight fitment issues or some slight cosmetic defects that might make a great travel board, might make a great work board, might make a great board for a friend or a Secret Santa gift or whatever else you want to consider. Looking at the B-Stock store is always a great idea if you want to pick up something that's budget and well priced. So please do take a look at that.
Yep, and last but not least, we have the Key Company, who has several things going on right now, including the SP111, that sweet split, full-size kind of ish Southpaw. It's kind of a little bit of everything. Very, very nice. The group buy is still open until the 27th on that one if you want to pick one up. So very, very nice board there. They are also currently running Cam Little Pilot. So bam, we finally get another cam set in the wild, hopefully soon. So lots of stuff going on there. Pretty inexpensive too, all things considered, which is pretty nice.
Yeah.
And they have the newly launched Key plushie, which is very adorable. I think we need more plushies in the community. I'm really happy we've been getting more. Like Novelty's been putting out more, and now the Key Company, very nice. This one's adorable, love it. I'm definitely pick one of those up.
This one's actually from switchkeys.au and TKC are just the property. But yeah, I've just picked it up from my keyboard as well. But it's designed by Steph.
Totally worth. Yep.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, and they also have the Infinity White on Black / Black on White group buy opening tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern. So if you've been waiting for that, that's going to be pretty awesome. You're going to be able to get a ton of keys, lots of compatibility for a really low price, because that's generally how Infinity does kits. So looking forward to that one. All right, let's move back. Hopefully I do this smoothly and correctly. There we go. Now we can see Jay's Snow and Fire in all of its glory. So we are now in our Q&A section of the show, guys. So if you have any questions, now is a good time to ask them using the @TopClack tag. We'll go back here and grab a few that we missed earlier on. Shout out to Go Blue Bro, who subbed with Twitch Prime. Thank you very much.
Nice. Just while you're searching for the first question as well, Mike checked in and said we've gone up to 1,890 tickets sold, so only 110 to go. So more than halfway there, guys, from when he said it. So
yeah, get those tickets rolling, guys. Get those tickets rolling. JO1 raffle tickets on Novel Keys, guys. Go buy one or two or three or 5 or 10
or 50 like someone did earlier on. Yeah.
Someone bought 50?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
People are crazy. McNoss does ask what boards are coming in. Let's see, what do I have? I still have the Southpaw full size coming in. We got
still
eventually. Yeah. Let's see, what else do I have coming in? Actually, I think that's all I have coming in. Now that I think about it. What about you guys?
I've got a few. I've got the next J series prototype soon. Some other prototypes for Mr. Petrov. You might have seen him teasing to Allison. They should arrive actually this weekend or Monday at the latest. So I might have them on the build stream on Sunday. I've got, what else have I got? Oh, I've got Key Cook coming as well. So excited for that. I think that's it. There's a few that are a lot further out, like the Wilbur's last board and the one, I forgot the name of it. The one with the fins on the side.
Thermal.
The thermal. That's it. That's coming, and a few other bits and pieces as well. But they're all fairly far out. So yeah.
Cool.
What about you guys, Chewy and Cyrus? You guys got anything coming in soon?
The Austin is
nice. Yeah.
Right around the corner. I got to see a bunch of them today because he's local, and hand delivered the Baka to him. So I'm expecting hand delivered.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, is a nice return. But that, and maybe one day I'll get my M0. So
that's a pretty long group buy. That launched in 2017, didn't it?
18.
Was it?
It was supposed to be delivered November of. So.
Oh, okay. I remember seeing the prototype in 2017.
The prototype, it had been protoed over a year before it went to group. So.
Wow. If it's any consolation, I'm still waiting for my M65A. So yeah.
One day.
Wait, really? From the original group buy?
What?
Yeah, I got a silver one in that I never got. I actually bought one of the cosmic versions, the purple versions, after the group buy one, and I got the cosmic purple one. Like, I think I sold it 18 months ago. So, you know, I still
Wow.
have the silver one. Yeah,
That's
I'm never getting that board. I'm never getting that board. Let's be
Last time I checked, they still had new stock of the Solarized Dark versions, so you could get one of those.
Yeah, just ask for that instead. Yeah, why
what
not?
a
Yeah.
what a nightmare. All right, our
For
next.
me,
Sorry, go.
oh, I've got some boards coming in. I didn't get a chance to answer the question.
My bad. I'm
Yeah,
really.
Brian.
I've been gone for a week. I don't remember how to do this job.
Mad host.
I've got the homies boards coming in. I get the Baka, and then my Osa from Blind Assassin, who's also the designer of the SP111. So I'm
Nice.
excited for both of those. I've got some other stuff that I'm going to be building soon. That'll be boards that I'm messing with for the first time, possibly a TGR board, maybe some other stuff. So I'm really excited for that. So.
Oh, nice. I was actually going to reach out to you guys and see if you guys might want to do a JO2 build in the new year as well.
Yes.
Please.
Yes, send me one.
Sure.
Yes.
I'll let you decide who gets to do it.
No, that sounds awful.
How dare you? I would never stoop that low.
Yeah, it's always so funny. Like, it doesn't happen to me like super often, but like every now and then I'll get a PM of someone being like, "Do you want to do a build stream of this?" And I'm like, "You think I'm gonna say no?" Like,
Yeah.
No,
when am I ever gonna say no to like building
Next.
something?
Just send it to somebody else. That's what I really want you to do.
Yeah.
I actually had that conversation this week with Fugui from Percent Studios, who do the canoes. I was like talking to him about the polycarbonate one, and I was doing a build stream on Sunday, and he was like, "Oh," he says, "I've got a prototype of the canoe V2." He said, "I wouldn't have thought you'd be interested in building that on stream though." So I'm like, "No, I will build that on stream if you send that shit to me. I'm gonna build that shit. You know, just get it in the post it now. Just do it."
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As long as it's not like a KBD 75, because that PCB is like
A
absolutely
nightmare.
trash.
A nightmare.
I'm down to build it. Like I want to build it.
Yeah. Shout out to everyone out there that wants any of us to ever build boards. We do. That's the answer. We do.
Well,
Okay, except yeah.
Well,
Let's pump the brakes there. All right.
Yeah, just yeah, because I'll be honest. I'll build. I'll be really clear here. I will build stuff that I find interesting and fun.
Fair.
So to all the people that I've said no to just this last week alone, please don't take it personally. It's not because I don't like your boards or anything like that. I've just probably seen too many of them. I want to do
If you
different things, have different content, not 10 of the same board every week. So
If
yeah,
Jay
it's
tells
not
you no, go to Osiris.
Yeah,
Say
right.
yes.
I'll build it.
Osiris is like the budget J right now.
Down. I
You
like
don't
building-
have to ship it across the pond, guys. Easy.
Oh my god! All right, let's move
Well,
on.
you're forgetting that most of my customers are European, man.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
It's corner
Listen,
of the market.
I don't understand what outside of America means. So
Oh,
Sorry.
isn't America great? We're gonna speed through some questions here. Vinin with our next question: why are numpads included in GMK bases so often if most boards aren't full sized?
Well, I think we've seen a trend of them being pulled out of a lot of base kits recently.
That's true.
But there are a lot of people who still buy 1800 style boards. HBCP type boards have been selling quite well recently. So there is, and numpads as standalone items as well. There is still demand for numpads out there, but I will agree it's not as high as it is for standard layouts, like 60%, for example.
I would bet that the type of people that buy GMK base kits that have numpads in them use them on 1800 style layouts or numpads more than the people that use them on full size keyboards. So I don't know.
That's pretty safe to say.
I would love like a survey on that actually. How many people are actually using GMK numpads that came from a base kit on a full size keyboard? Not an 1800, but a full size keyboard.
Yeah, I don't think I have a full size keyboard.
I have like one or two OEM keyboards, I think, but
Yeah.
nothing.
I have an old Ducky.
Nothing I
an
put
old
GMK
nine.
cats on.
I have some old like kind of vintage boards that would work for it, but like in terms of customs, I have some that have got numpads on, as you say, but they tend to be like the Cypher or whatever. so 1800 type boards than actual full size. In fact, I think I might only have a duck board that's close to full size, which is the
Blackbird.
Oh gosh, yeah, the Blackbird. Sorry, I couldn't think of the name. Yeah, that's the only one that's close to full size that I've got, and I wouldn't class that as a true full size board.
No, that's certainly kind of a hybrid. But yeah, obviously there are non-full size layouts out there that use numpads. So I mean, there's still a market for them, but strictly on full size keyboards, I think the market is probably pretty slim. All right, our next question comes from C Madrid 30. He's asking, any good custom TKL boards that cost less than a mortgage payment? I don't know what your mortgage payment is, so I would say
I've been enjoying the KBD8X too. If you can get your hands on one,
you have a Mark II in your hand?
It was a good build. It's a good build. Ano's is on par with everything else that Tofu's done.
Did
or not Tofu, but KBDfans. It's a solid board for the price, for $300 at Group Buy. If you can find one around that price, it's absolutely worth it.
It's probably it's probably the best option for the money. In terms of custom TKLs. Have those shipped yet? You actually have one?
Yeah, I built one on our 24-hour stream.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize those actually went out yet. So
I've been using it for, and it's a solid board. Like it's
certainly.
I built it with stock Zeal 78 gram switches to kind of have like, this is your like top of the bottom, not bottom, but top of the, right at the peak before you start going into the having to explain to your friends why you can't go out at night because keyboard. So it's just like this is the like tipping point, and it's a great board. I use it every day for work.
Yeah. It started at 250 even, right? Or was it 300?
The Group Buy was set up strangely in that it started at 250, but like if you didn't get a plate, then it would be 250. So it was just one of those, like, it starts at 250, but then with the options that you have to pick, it went up to 300.
Yeah, I mean, custom TKLs are really hard to get cheap. Most of them are going to be north of $400. So I think the best bang for your buck, like Chewy said, is definitely going to be the KBDfans 8X Mark II. Hopefully they have extras in soon.
They just missed out on extras of the TX80, the TX TKL. They just released that like this past weekend.
That's also a solid board, but that's quite a bit more expensive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
like it's 400 or 500.
Yeah, plus shipping is.
Yeah,
it's a mortgage payment.
That's still,
taking that next step up, absolutely.
I mean, consider that a mortgage payment, though.
Yeah, no, not a mortgage payment.
I would argue the 8X Mark II is not only a better value than the TX 84 or 87, but a more interesting board.
Yeah, it's fair. I don't think that's. I disagree with that. And have the 280 ships from Zondat yet? Because they were like $379, right? They were something like that sort of price range.
I don't know.
380.
That should be a pretty solid board. I like the design of that one.
Yeah, I remember seeing the prototype in Leeds back in 2017, 2018 meetup, so must be over 18 months ago. I think I'm actually meeting up with Zondat as well soon, so I'll ask him and pester him and see where those boards are. Yeah,
nice.
Another spot.
Shout out to Mountain Blocks, who donated 2,222 bits. Says, good to see y'all on the same screen. Thank you so much, man. That is very kind.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
There's been so many bits donated today. It's freaking crazy.
Bits and raffle tickets.
I know.
Subs.
Yeah, everyone, make sure to go buy a JO1 raffle ticket on Novel Keys right now, because we've already heard it in chat here first today. There's going to be lots of extra prizes. You can win a JO1, you can win GMK DualShot, you can win an NK65, you can win a set of GMK Fuyu.
Yep.
Lots of options to win now. So, your odds of winning just literally quadrupled during this stream. Your odds of winning something literally quadrupled during the stream. So that's pretty awesome. We're only about 100 tickets away, and it's at the end of the stream. So we probably have a good half an hour left or so. So make sure you go in and buy those tickets now. We'll have to ping Mike in a moment here, see if we get an update on the numbers.
Yeah, 1890 was the last number, so really close.
Yeah, well, that was only 110 away, and that was like 20 minutes ago. So hopefully people are still getting them in there.
Can I be really honest about something as well? When I first put that raffle up, I was expecting to sell maybe 200 raffle tickets. 200 raffle tickets was my absolute dream number. I thought if we sold 200 and I'd match it, then that'd be fantastic. And now we're on the cusp of selling 10 times that. I just blown away, absolutely blown away, guys. It's just huge.
This is a wholesome community, and the giving spirit is here. And we're so close to Christmas. People are opening up their hearts and wallets for a good cause, and a chance to win some cool stuff, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Raging Asian did sub tier 1 20 months in a row. Thanks, Ray. Appreciate that, man.
Nice.
And Mechs donated 300 bits. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Wow.
That is very nice. Very nice.
With the
wholesome stream is wholesome.
Yeah, wholesome stream is wholesome today. Frisco Melt with our next question says, question for all. Text, old icon, new icon, or combo mods? I'm assuming
Go on, Chibi Saris, what do you guys think?
To GMK.
Combo.
Yeah. Combo? Okay.
Probably right now, icon.
New or old? Because you got to remember, we have the new icons, the quote unquote corrected ones from Dixie.
Corrected.
Well, I mean, I say corrected because it's like
in reality, the centered makes more sense. Like if you think about it,
it does. The aesthetic axis when you look at it makes more sense.
I get it. I get it. Yeah. It's just the use of the word corrected.
Correct. Okay, corrected might not have been the best word, but
the amended.
I'm gonna go with improved. How about that?
Ooh.
Improved.
Okay, so here's my argument with the icon mods, like the changing of the mods, the legends, whatnot. Like, I get people being upset because it's different, right? But I feel like if you looked at it the other way, and if the centered was the norm now, like what we had been looking at for the past 10 15 years, however long they've been doing the sets,
40 or 50 years.
Close to 40, yeah. Close to 40
I meant,
years,
like, yeah, for as long as they have. If you switched it to what it was before, people would be so upset. Like, I feel like going from centered to the old school is way worse than going from old school to the new. I think that people are just kind of stuck in their ways almost. And as Dixie just said, the spacing, when you look at it in design, the centered is correct. Like,
that's a really, really compelling argument. I would agree that if you were spot on, if we've had them centered always and we tried to move to the to the traditional ones, then people would absolutely be up in arms. But I completely agree. I think where people come from with it is that they like the tradition, they like the history behind what we've had forever, and people generally don't like change. They don't like change to stuff. We find change difficult to deal with as a race, as human beings. So, but no, I completely agree with you. I think that's a really, really fair argument and a good point, well made.
Yeah. With that said, new icon, definitely my choice out of them. I like the new aesthetic for the improved, corrected icons there. I think it's fantastic.
And my answer to this is I honestly don't care what the mods are as long as I have a text bottom row. I don't like the icon bottom rows at all. So you can do whatever else you want with the rest of it. Just give me a text bottom row.
All right. Fair enough. All right. Next question from 707 Jammin asking, at what point will people stop being able to flip GMK sets because the market is so saturated? I don't know if that'll... I don't know. See, it's hard because the way GMK sets work is like colorways kind of come and go in trends. It's something that's really hot right now might not be hot a year from now. So let's say, I don't know, let's use GMK Olivia for example. People were spending what, $300, upwards of $500 on a base set of GMK Olivia only a year ago, maybe less. And obviously we're gonna see it ran again. So I mean, it's going to go down a lot in value as the new version sells a lot of base kits. But I feel like, let's say that didn't happen and that didn't run around 2. I feel like maybe 6 months from now you could pick up GMK Olivia for like $200 or less. It all comes and goes. It's fads, it's trends. Sometimes things are popular, sometimes things aren't. Sometimes things come back into fashion, sometimes things just fall off. You never know. Some sets, just they're really popular at one point and they're not the next time. So it really depends on what the community's kind of feeling.
A really, really good example of this is GMK Shoko. So when it first went into interest check, people liked it, but it didn't gain huge traction. When it went into group buy, they left the group buy open for ages and ages and ages until it finally dropped over the line and made, barely made MOQ. And then as soon as the set was released and it was out there, I remember posting the first pictures when I got the set. I think I was one of the first people to get it in the EU, and I posted some pictures. Everyone loved it. I loved it. I thought it was great. It's one of my highlights of the year is unboxing that set. I was just so blown away by how nice it was. And the prices skyrocketed over the next few weeks. You couldn't get hold of it for less than $400 or $500. It was hugely up in the price. And then now, if you look, it's dropped right back down to $200. People are selling it for not much more than what the actual base kit cost. That being said, it will get a round 2. People know it's got a round 2, but it's not something that's going to be in group buy just yet. So, I think that's just the way we're seeing. I think we're seeing exactly that trend, Brian. And as soon as it goes into group buy and the group buy finishes, the prices for the existing sets that are out there will go back up a little bit because, people will want something that they can't have because they've just missed the group buy. So, it all depends. I don't think we'll ever get away from people flipping sets and selling something that's always going to be made at a lower quantity than what the community wants available. Even we've got roughly 500,000 people in the community by the best metric which we've got, which is RMK subscribers, which is not a great metric and it's a horrible one to use, but it's the best we've got. And if you consider that most GMK sets sell somewhere in the region of between 250 and 1,000 base sets these days, then that's not many sets per person on an overall percentage basis. So there's always going to be more demand than there is supply, and wherever that's the case, we'll always see sets flipped for and sold for more than the group buy price, even though it's a second-hand good at that point and it should theoretically be cheaper. So I don't think we'll ever get away from sets being sold at $20, $30 uplift. But then it becomes, at what point do you call it flipping, and what point do you call it just someone making a few quid for their efforts to sell something? So, it's very difficult to draw that line.
Yeah, exactly. Like if a vendor picks up extras for a GMK key set that ran at group buy for, 130 or whatever, and they sell the extras for 160. Like, if you try to sell your extra for 160, are you flipping it? Like, I don't know. The community, there's a lot of gray areas in the community, and there's a lot of unofficial kind of thought and language that kind of goes into it, and it's hard to nail down, really. I don't know. How do you guys feel about it?
I think it's one of those deals that if you look at a set like Plum, for instance, means it may never happen, because that's a set that was one of very few sets that sold for less than group buy price after it came out. And then now it sells for $30-$40 over group buy price. So I think it's really like, the answer is probably no. We will never see a time where sets don't sell, where sets sell for less than group buy, because I think it's just a matter of time. Your set that was released in 2017, in 2020, when there's 300,000 more people in the community, is going to be worth more. So, like, as the community grows, older sets that weren't very popular are going to be more popular just because they're there.
Yeah,
and then I also
people discovering them that they didn't know.
Right.
They weren't around at that time.
And I think there's also the fact of, like, when you have, and we talked about this before, when you have sets like Olivia and Serica and Shoko come out and they go for these insane prices on Mech Market, it brings the price up of every other GMK set, like, naturally. Like, everyone else is like, oh, well, I can up my price by $15-$20. And then you have enough people do that, and all of a sudden a set that was selling for $180 is now selling for $250. So
yeah, good point.
Yeah.
As long as supply and demand exists, I think we're always going to have this issue, if you want to call it that. Whatever is, quote unquote, the hotness is always gonna sell more.
Yeah, and unless 500,000 base kits are being produced for something, then there's always going to be less supply than there is demand, and that's what economics is, right? That's what drives higher prices. That's why oil prices go sky high, because there's less demand, and so there's more demand than there is supply. It's just the way things are. So I don't think we'll ever really get away with it. Dixie made a good point in chat. He said that it's up to the vendors to supply extras to be able to stop and stem the aftermarket prices for going so high. But the vendors can't be expected to buy a ton of extras for every single set. Financially, it's just not viable for some vendors. 100 sets extras, that's that's crazy numbers for some vendors out there. They just wouldn't be able to afford it. So for some vendors, sure, it's an option, it's an opportunity to be able to do that and to be able to make a little bit more profit for their efforts as well. Completely fine with that. But even if you do that, you're still never always going to stem the flow of the issue in the aftermarket. So yeah, absolutely.
Novel Keys does say only 85 more tickets needed, though that was several minutes ago when he said that. So get in there, guys. We're coming up towards the end of the stream. So if you want to support a good cause for a pretty low price and potentially win something amazing, then make sure you get on that.
Yeah, and Nebulant saying the JO1 is the board of the year. So wow, that's big. That's a big accolade. Thank you, Nebulant. I appreciate that.
Board of the year. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. To be fair, Gasp said something very similar when she built a couple of J1s recently as well. So I was very impressed with that too. Very happy.
I'm just trying to catch up with the chat here. Looks like we're caught up on questions. We can't leave yet though. We haven't hit the magic 2,000 mark. We gotta make these prizes available for these people.
Well, Frisco Melt has rescued us. He said, at Top Clack, don't you think you should answer this question very slowly for more raffle sales?
I don't know. Let me think about that for a moment. Let's
this is where we have This is where we have 5 minutes of all four of us just stroking our beards while looking pensively at the camera.
I'm just gonna post this JO1 raffle ticket link into chat while I think about how to answer that question. You will find on that link, though, if you go to the quantity section that's right next to the add to cart button, you can actually click the up arrow, and you can add quite a few. In fact, you can go up to I think 999. No, I'm sorry, 9,999 or more.
Wow.
So you can do quite a few. You can do 2, you can do 5, you can do 10. It's amazing. But yeah, let's get those raffle tickets in, guys. We're getting really close to unlocking 3 epic prizes.
Yeah, I mean, just I'm blown away, guys, by the support that's being shown.
If you guys are just joining now and you have no idea what we're talking about, JO1 raffle tickets gives you a really good opportunity to win a JO1 board, which is an amazing piece of work. Only $5 a ticket. It goes to the Sue Ryder Hospice charity that Jay is very close to and he absolutely loves. And that's amazing. And during the stream earlier, Mike of Novel Keys did say that he will give away an NK65 to a raffle ticket winner if we get to 2,000 units sold. Dixie Mech then came back and said, hell, I'll give away a GMK DualShot base kit if it hits 2,000. So bam, we already up to 3 prizes. McNaughton in chat said, hey, let's up that even more, adding in a set of GMK Fuyu, which is launching next month, I believe. So bam, lots of prizes. Get the tickets in there, guys.
79 more needed now, so we've sold another 6 in the past 2 minutes while you've been talking, Brian. So there we go.
Fantastic. Mountain Block says 25 more ordered.
Oh shit!
What a hero, dude!
Wow!
What an absolute hero,
dude. Big pog.
Big pog champ there.
I can't do a big enough heart emote for the support you guys are showing right now. It's amazing. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, keep it up, guys. Keep it up. We're getting really close. Hopefully, we can get an updated count here in a few. Let's answer a couple more questions while we do that. McDoss asking, review the key set group by spreadsheet. That sounds like a lot of work. I don't even know if I have it linked anywhere.
Dude, it's like insane. I think there was like 70 something key sets this past year.
No, that's crazy. Do you know what, right? I can remember when I first was joined the community and was into buying stuff that I could join pretty much every GMK set because it was like 7 sets a year that ran, and now we see that in a month minimum.
We see that in like 2 weeks.
Double or triple that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We see that on one vendor.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, you look at Kona right now.
You're right.
They do have 7 GMK sets right now running.
That's amazing.
I mean, to be fair, in the EU, we've always seen it on 1 or 2 vendors because we only really have Candy Keys and My Keyboard EU. So we've always seen those two as having quite a few sets comparatively. Although prototypist.net, new website for me, maybe that'll change a little bit over the course of the year. Self-shill, but there we go. Nice. But it is really interesting to see how how times have changed on that, because I can remember when like GMK Monkey ran, for example. That was the only key set that ran in that quarter. There was nothing else that ran anywhere near it, and that struggled to hit MOQ back then. And that's only 4 years ago. It's not that long ago. To see where the community's gone from and come to is just absolutely mind blowing. It is just such a huge change and such a huge difference in terms of demographics and sales figures. I mean, 2 years ago, if someone said a GMK set would sell 1,000 units, we would have all laughed, and none of us would have believed it.
Never.
Right? We'd be like, whatever. Yeah. Right. Okay. We'll believe that when we see it. And now we have multiple sets in a month hitting 1,000 base units, and it's like
it seems like every set that Dixie Mech runs sells like 1,500 units now.
Yeah.
Was Dracula? Wasn't Dracula like 2,000?
3,000.
3,000? Are you serious?
Yeah. With extras, it was 3,000. Yeah.
Unbelievable. That is outrageous. That is crazy. Vinin is asking, favorite beard oils? I am almost embarrassed to admit I haven't used beard oils in like a year or more. I was getting custom beard oils by Nerdly, who is in the keyboard community. He makes he blends oils and he makes soaps and stuff like that. So I was getting a lot of stuff from him. I still have quite a few things. So I don't really know too much about like the actual mainstream beard oil market.
I don't know the name of it. It was given to me by a friend. I use it from time to time.
Fair enough. I don't oil nearly as much as I used to, and as nearly as much as I should, which is kind of
I use a few different ones. It depends on how thick my beard is and how much I've not shaved, basically. But I use 7 Potions most of the time. They have a huge range of like different types of beard oils and stuff, and it's all made from woodland product. It's really good. And then if I'm having like a particularly sore day after I've had a shave, if I'm a bit sore or tender, then Leven Rose do some really, really nice beard oils, especially their tea tree one. That's really good. So, yeah.
Nice.
I have a friend that owns a beard oil company. However,
oh wow.
I don't use beard oil like ever. It's not. I don't let it get very long. I try to keep it fairly short. So yeah, don't really ever feel the need. But maybe one day.
Fair enough. All right. Dapkov is asking, question for Jay: if you had to pick a Formula One livery from any season to turn into a GMK set, what would it be and why?
Oh, there's 2 choices here for me, and one of them's kind of being done right now, but it's not Formula One based. So the 2 that I pick are John Player from the 1970s, which was black and gold, which you could argue Lux, GMK Lux with Zampon and Beam and Robot kind of covers. The other one would probably be the British Racing green and gold sets from the early Lotus cars. I would love to see that with proper gold and legends. So I would love to see that, absolutely. I think that'd be great. So one of those 2, but both 70s based sets. So yeah.
All right. Jay Shuff asking us to list all GMK sets in alphabetical order. I really appreciate you trying to take up time, because we really do need to get more sales in those tickets. But man, that's a tall order. I'll skip that for now. 10 Strong asking, this is a good question. FR301 bought this week. Best tips and tricks. Advice is a 1.3 millimeter nozzle recommended or larger diameter. So he's referring to the Hako FR301. For those of you guys that might not know, that's a desoldering gun. So that's how you remove solder from PCBs when you're trying to unbuild a board, basically. I have the FR300 model, so the slightly outdated version. Tips, I think just like make sure you're cleaning your equipment regularly. You're replacing your filter after every, I replace my filter every 2 or 3 boards. Mm-hmm. Buy extra equipment. Buy an extra drill for the tip. Buy an extra, brass pad. Buy an extra tip, and then buy extra filters. It never hurts to have all this extra stuff around. I would say, as far as like technique goes, I think it's very similar to soldering. You got to be confident. The more you hesitate, the more room you give yourself to mess up. So I don't know. I try to move really quickly. I actually desolder at a relatively high temperature, 400 C, and basically I stick it over the pin and on the pad. I wait approximately 1 second for everything to kind of melt and goop up, and then I just pull the trigger, hold that for about 1.5 seconds, maybe 2 at tops, and then bam, you're done. Move on to the next one. Because you can you can lift pads really easily at that temp.
Yeah, agree with everything there. We've hit the 2,000 mark, guys. We're at 2,030.
Yes, you guys are amazing.
Yeah, I almost just burst into tears when I saw that. My eyes were watered right up.
I can see your tears are snowing on stream.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, if I say anything now, I'm probably going to cry. So, wow, I'm just blown away, guys. Absolutely blown away. Yeah, someone realized when I saw it as well. They saw the realization come across my face. So wow, thank you guys for that support. Over 2,000 tickets. I can't even believe that we've managed to do that. That is just a huge amount of money for the charity. So I can't wait to be able to go and visit them and take that big fat check to them and get some pictures and share them with you guys, because wow, you guys are the best.
It's amazing that right now. It's really, really actually amazing that a community like ours, a keyboard community, can actually put so much forth and so much effort into something that is completely unrelated to keyboards. It's very, very wholesome. For sure. You guys should feel proud of yourselves, honestly.
Yeah,
hopefully you win some cool stuff too.
Yeah, well, some people are going to win some really cool stuff. So, yeah, absolutely. So McNoss, Dixie, Mike, thank you very much for donating those additional gifts. That's so huge of you, and thank you for pushing it over. Mike promised me earlier on in the week when he told me it was like 1,640 tickets or something. He said, "Oh, we're going to hit 2,000," and I didn't realize he was planning on doing something like this. But wow, yeah, over 2,000, 2,050 now. Wow. I just don't even have any words. It's crazy. It's just absolutely crazy.
That is fantastic. Thank you so much, guys. All right, let's. Well, now that we don't need to draw out time as much anymore, we can just lightning round the last couple questions here before we say our heartfelt goodbyes. It's just touching back real quick on 10 Strong's question about the FR301 though. He does ask about the nozzle diameter. 1.3 millimeter is my preferred nozzle to use for things like switches. I do like the 1 millimeter nozzle if you're doing things like through-hole LEDs and stuff like that, which I realize not many people do much anymore these days, but it doesn't hurt to have a few different nozzles on hand. I think the stock one is somewhere like 1.6 millimeter, but I do think at least buying the 1.3 millimeter helps quite a bit.
Nice.
Fantastic, cool. Man. That is so cool.
I'm absolutely blown away.
Yeah, I can't stop thinking about it now. Drifting Buddy's asking, what do you think sets Teja from other up and coming streamers? Does Teja do something different that makes him more popular?
What do Chewy and Osiris think? Because they've been a bit quiet for these couple of questions.
Sure, sorry.
Go on, Chewy and Osiris. What do you guys think about Nathan and Teja and how his streams differ from everyone else?
It's quality plus personality. There's
Okay.
nothing that different between most people in content creation. He does it very well. He handles himself very professionally, and he's very nice. He's very easy to watch. He kind of fits that role of just throwing something on Twitch and just doing something else while you watch him, and it all looks great. So it's simple.
So my opinion on this, obviously, I think he doesn't necessarily do anything like crazy different. Like, it's not insanely out of the norm. I think he is a personality, like Chewy said, he's a personality that you get along with just naturally. He's a guy, when you're watching him, you're like, I like this guy. He's not overly like on one side of the spectrum or on the other side of the spectrum. He's a chill dude, good guy. I think one thing that he did that is not as apparent in a lot of the other streams is that he embraces the Twitch platform itself, not just in a way of like using it as a platform, but he embraces the culture of Twitch itself. which is important in the growth because you have all these viewers that are used to a certain level of content on the platform. And when you embrace that and you're able to harness that, it makes your growth a lot easier because it's a more natural progression from something like a gaming stream over to his stream. I think that's partly why he's able to do things other than keyboards. Like he's able to just sit there and eat food and talk to his chat. He's able to go and play CS for 4 hours and people still want to watch it, because I think he's embracing that culture of Twitch itself. So
yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. He's a very nice guy. He's very personable. I think what really started him off initially, which helped him a lot, is he's always been really into things like photography, audio, and video and stuff like that. So because that was a hobby of his. He had really high-end, high-quality equipment. So when he started streaming keyboards, he was already the highest production value streamer in our community. He was way better than all of us and anyone else that streams. Basically, he had really expensive cameras. He had really expensive microphones. His setup is just very expensive and very fine-tuned because he knows what he's doing. And I think that helped him a lot in the beginning. And obviously being very nice and very personable. He's, like Chewy mentioned, he's very chill. You can kind of just turn him on. It doesn't really matter what he's doing, and he's just kind of fun to be around and listen to. One thing I think helped him a lot, and I'm trying to word this in a way that doesn't sound mean, but I think like Osiris meant, he really does embrace the Twitch platform, and I think he had a lot of help from other streamers that he kind of met along the way and worked with and collabed with, that are outside of the keyboard community, and I think that kind of helped build him up, because if you look at his audience, it's not necessarily just people that are in the hobby. He brings in a lot of people from outside the hobby, which we don't really do. Like Clack doesn't really bring people in. Mechs on Deck doesn't really bring people in. We're kind of discovered by people that are already in the hobby. Whereas Nathan Teja Types, I feel like he kind of did the opposite. He really tried to market himself and collab with other streamers and stuff like that, which is totally what he should have done. And I have nothing but respect for him. That's what you should be doing.
For sure.
But I think that helped him grow a lot, because Nathan's kind of growing from outside the community inward, whereas things like Mechs on Deck and Clack, we kind of grow from the community outward. So I think it's a combination of things, honestly. But he's pioneering the community for us. He's kind of like the face of our community right now, and I think he's doing a pretty good job of it. I got nothing but love and respect for the guy.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better than myself than what all you guys have said. I think you're all spot on with the money. Everything you've said is accurate, and as you say, Brian, he's just a really nice guy to boot. He's just genuinely lovely to speak to, and he has time for people, and he's very personable. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
We're lucky he's a community that we've got him in the community as well. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he does a lot for our community.
yeah.
All right. McNoss says he'll send some 105 for beard oil. I'm assuming Krytox GPL 105 oil. Oh, that sounds like a terrible idea. Well, I mean, it is like food grade. How bad could it be on on a beard, right?
I do want to give a quick shout out if no one was able, for the people who weren't at the SoCal meetup to see Nathan's presentation he did, there is a video of it on YouTube, and it's about 30 minutes long. And he talks a lot about the community, he talks a lot about growth, and he talks a lot about his thoughts for the future. I definitely recommend watching it. It's a great little 30-minute presentation about the status of the current state of the community and where he thinks it's going, and some ideas of what we should do as a community to facilitate that growth.
Absolutely. Sorry, guys, just trying to scroll through the chat here. All right, I'm catching up to the point where we finally cracked the 2,000 ticket mark, so that's fantastic, man. That is fantastic. Over 2,050. Wow.
It's crazy, isn't it? That's absolutely crazy.
That is crazy. Slim Thickens
Huge
does double
numbers.
Twitch Prime. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that, dude.
Yeah. Heck yeah. All right, just trying to find any last minute questions before we head out. Sorry, guys. The Raging Asian asks, would you say your beards are alternative floof? Yes, absolutely.
Sure, why not?
Absolutely.
Hands down.
Beards are floof. And with that, we are caught up with the questions. Novel Key says, "Let's get to 3,000 tickets sold." Oh man, it's possible. It's possible. What's the end date? Is it the 25th?
3 days. 23rd. 23rd is the end date, and we'll draw it on the 26th. That gives Mike a couple of days over the Christmas period to try and get me the list of entries. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so it looks like we are fully caught up on the questions. So before we roll over this 3-hour mark, that's probably a good time to send off. If you guys enjoyed the stream, there are we do this every single week, if not more. So every Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific time, you can find us here. We've been going for quite a while now. We generally don't miss episodes ever, so things are going fairly well with that. So thank you guys all so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Shout out to both Chewy and Osiris, the Mechs on Deck peeps, for hanging out with us today on our Christmas special. We know we know you got busy lives and you probably have better things than hanging out with keyboard nerds on stream. But hey, it is what it is.
You guys should absolutely go and check out Mechs on Deck's channel as well. They're both on Twitch, YouTube. Where else are you guys? How can people get in touch with you? Post some links.
Spam links in chat.
Spam the chat. Yeah.
Yeah. So Twitch, we're live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central Time. Our YouTube channel, which I am pulling the link up to right now. So we do have a weekly episode that comes out Monday as well. If you want to check out episode 4, I don't know the number of Quakeums by heart, but I know that episode 4 is Jay.
Wow.
Wow.
Am I that unmemorable? Jeez.
Oof. God. Man, okay. Here's a quick little like behind the scenes of some early issues with Mechs on Deck. We had this OBS problem that would cause audio hiccups, and when recording with Quakeums, we did half the episode and then another half of the episode, and the second half of the episode of my audio got screwed up, so I had to go in one night after finishing recording. I had to go in, time out how long each section was, hold up a timer, remember what I said, and time it and try and word it within the same amount of time.
Wow.
And I did a pretty decent job.
You actually did a pretty good job on that. That sounds so awful. That sounds like such a nightmare.
I was literally like throwing stuff around the apartment. I was like, I can't believe I have to do this over. And then I sent all the stuff in, and then I was like, cool, never doing that again.
do you guys remember what happened when we recorded our...
Oh, trust me, that was...
Yeah.
It's
so,
Top Rank brings the problems.
It's so true. It's so true.
When I did it, we actually had to record the show twice, and we did it over the course of a weekend. I think was it the Saturday night and then the Sunday night when you guys...
It was a Saturday night and a Monday afternoon.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So we recorded the show. I thought everything was fine, and then on the Monday afternoon, I got a message from Chewy saying, "Yeah, can you come back and record again because we don't actually have the recording?" And it was like.
No,
we had some audio coupling that was not.
Yeah, here I'll tell the story. Because again, I had just gotten a cam link, and the way that I have OBS set up, all of the non-needed audio channels are hidden. So things like camera or video devices are hidden.
Yeah.
Right. So I didn't see that when I added the cam link, it was going to pull the audio from the camera. So in the video with Jay, everything that I said was doubled up by like enough to where it was it was unwatchable. You were not going to be able to listen to it. And it was just so bad. And then finally I felt like an idiot for not thinking about it and then fixed it, but thanks again for helping us out.
Funny add-on to that, we actually recorded another episode later that day because we had a lot of time, and so both of those episodes are just... And that episode we never actually re-recorded, so that's just like the great lost episode of Mechs on Deck.
Oh yeah, you should release it as just like, even with the double audio, you should just release it as the great lost episode.
Recording is rough because like you never really know what it's going to sound like unless like you test it first, like you record.
We hold our breath. We hold our breath at the end. He'll go, okay, let's check in if it's done. And I'm just like, For the love of God, please be okay.
and it never is, because that's our lives. People don't realize, like, everything goes wrong. Literally everything goes wrong when you're
goes wrong,
recording,
and then
nothing ever goes as you want it to go. It just doesn't happen.
And it all happens publicly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And live usually as well when you.
Yeah. It's the worst. Shout out to Holy Shit, It's Chris with the 500-bit donation. Fantastic name, by the way. I love that.
I will say I felt almost like a weight lifted off of my shoulders when I was watching one of Nathan's 24-hour streams. I think his most recent like subathon stream, and he had the same audio issue that we have in the middle of it, and I was like, okay, cool. So it's not only us; it happens to other people as well.
Oh yeah, no,
it's validating that you know. It's not just
total
you,
validation.
It's pretty awful.
But with what we've got going on, I don't know, Chewy, if you want to get an invite to our Discord. We do have quite a bit of changes and stuff coming up next year. We have a kind of not a full redo of the channel, but a little small restructuring of things that we're doing. We're going to add in some additional things, as well as we have some really big news coming up. So definitely want to come join us on Discord so you can stay in touch with what we're putting out and what we're doing, because there's some pretty cool stuff that's happening next year.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah, looking forward to seeing that then, guys, because I do love your content. It's really good. So,
definitely.
Go check that out, guys. Brian, anything upcoming from you on stream? Build streams?
I don't know. I do want to do a build stream soon. Depending on how I'm feeling tomorrow, that could be a thing. I'm feeling pretty good right now. Like I said, I am recovering. A lot of issues going on. If you guys missed the beginning of the stream, a lot of health issues on my end, unfortunately. But I am starting to feel better. So if my back holds up tomorrow, I'm going to try to do a build stream.
Awesome. Cool.
I have some backlog stuff, so that's the plan.
Nice. That's not a bad way to be. Yeah, I'll be building my polycarbonate canoe with laser on switches, and I'll finally be opening my GMK laser set, which has been wrapped up for God knows.
What about your GMG?
Oh, that's still wrapped up. Yeah,
when are you gonna open? It's like one of the best GMK sets. Oh my god!
When I find a board to put it on, right? That's when it'll get opened. Mizu's still sealed as well, so that's probably gonna stay sealed for a long time.
I haven't even put my Mizu on a board yet, but I still unsealed it just to look at it.
I'll look through the side, but that's as far as I've got. But yeah, so I'll be building my polycarbonate canoe on Sunday on stream, 8 PM UK time, which is noon PST, 3 o'clock PM EST on Sunday. We'll be building with laser on switches, opening GMK laser, popping that on the board as well. Really looking forward to that. I've not actually seen anyone else have their PC canoe delivered yet, so I'm really interested to see how that turns out. And I'll be putting a carbon fiber plate in that too. After that will be my last build stream of this year. It will be waiting until 2020 before I do a build after that, when it'll be the Golden Honeyboard 60 that Pitoko was kind enough to send me. I'm really looking forward to building that.
I think you're gonna like the sound on that one.
Right. Okay. So I'm gonna be putting a carbon fiber plate in there, and we'll see how that goes. But I'm really looking forward to that. But that will be January now. So my last build stream is this Sunday for this year, and we'll be back on the 26th of December, just after Christmas, and we'll be doing a few things on that stream. We'll be doing our kind of Christmas gift unwrapping. So Brian's got his Secret Santa already from the Top Clack Secret Santa. I'm still waiting on mine, but I do have some from the UK as well. So we'll be opening those gifts. We'll be getting you guys to open your gifts, sharing pictures, all of that kind of good stuff too. We'll then also take a look at the winners of the JO1 stuff that we've just been talking about. So who wins the JO1 board, who wins the NK65, and all of the other good stuff that Dixie and McNaughton and
GMK DualShot, GMK Fuyu, yep.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that. I think that's going to be a really good stream, and I can't wait to announce the winners of those, because there's 2,000 of you now that have bought tickets for it. So
2050.
Dead excited. Well, 2050, yeah. Dead excited to see how far that number gets up, and there's already been some extras thrown in with the JO1 boards, like some ZISP stems, the UHM WP stems. There's been a couple of artisans that people have sent me to chuck in there as well. So there's all sorts going on with that. So I'm really looking forward to that. And that'll wrap it up for Top Clack for 2019. And I've been on the show for 1 full year as well. Then, Brian, the
That's
show
true. That's
1
true.
year anniversary.
We'll have to do a little Jay celebration for his 1 year Top Clack anniversary.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'll be fun. All right, guys.
Cool.
So now is our time to head off. Once again, Chewy, Osiris, thank you so much for joining us today. We greatly appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure having you on, guys. Absolute pleasure.
Absolutely.
Of course, man. Thank you. We hope to chat with y'all soon.
Most definitely. And to everyone in chat, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Make sure you go check out Mechs on Deck on Twitch, on YouTube, on all their other platforms. And have a very Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays, depending on where you're from. You know, just have a good time. Live a good life.
Absolutely.
Be happy. Absolutely. All right. So, again, make sure to check out Jay on Sunday, and then maybe me tomorrow, and then, of course, us next week on Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific time, as usual. Links below.
And the Mechs on Decks, guys.
And the Mechs on Decks, guys. And links below in the description if you guys want to check out our YouTube channel, our official Discord, etc., etc. So, yes. Have a good rest of your day, everyone, and happy holidays. I hope you all have a fantastic time.
See you guys.
Everyone wave. Everyone wave goodbye.